I'm Christine Lisi right now. Today marked the first time Giants running back Saquon Barkley was back on the practice field with teammates, and suffering a knee injury early last season, he was a limited participant at practice. Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson pushing the team to protect his blind side. In his first comments to Seattle area reporters since the start of training camp, Wilson said the team's got to figure out Dwayne Brown's contract. The Pro Bowl tackle is not practicing as he seeks a new deal. ESPN's Kimberly Martin.
This is Seahawks team that it's a loaded NFC West. They don't need any contract drama right now. They need an improved offense, and they need Russell to be Russell, and defense, all those guys to be back on the field.
Kimberly Martin on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Injured Saints kicker Will Lutz is expected to miss the start of the season. The Saints, in the meantime, are trying out new kickers. Baseball news, the Colorado Rockies say a fan did not yell racial slurs during yesterday's game against the Miami Marlins, and that the man instead was shouting at the team's dinosaur-themed mascot named Dinger. Rockies say they spoke to the fan as part of their investigation into that incident.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, and an app that lets you bank anytime, anywhere, choosing Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Danny Cardenas. He is so money. Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Hope you had an awesome weekend. LSU on the practice field in about an hour. Saints training camp resumed this morning after a day off yesterday. We have got a ton of football stuff. Alan Faneca inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame this past weekend. Todd McClure was there. He'll be with us in 15 minutes. We'll get a Saints camp report from Sean Fazan, bottom of next hour. And then our guy, Zach Von Rosenberg, is going to be handling our LSU fall camp reports. Every day the Tigers are on the field, Zach will be here giving us a report. And he's pretty qualified, I would say, having been on the team a year ago and for the last 5 years, and certainly knows what he's looking for, looking at. And, by the way, he gets to stay for the whole practice. So little glimpse that maybe otherwise we wouldn't get to see. So we're looking forward to that in hour 3. Also, Greg Dykman. Greg Dykman's going to be with us in hour 3 as well. That's Cubs outfielder, Greg Dykman, who's going to be with us in hour 3. So you saw the tweet, didn't you? Saw it this morning. Michael Thomas on his Twitter. They tried to damage your reputation. You saved theirs by not telling your side of the story. There it is. A black box with white text. And the second I saw it, I thought, yeah, Sean Payton's going to trade him. Let me remind you, that's not an overreaction. Brandon Cooks, former first-round pick, was the Saints' leading receiver 2 of his first 3 years in the NFL. Tweeted, "Closed mouths don't get fed," and they summarily traded him. Junior Gillette had a massive contract after his breakout double-digit sack season, and they got rid of him. Jimmy Graham went through an ordeal over his franchise tag, and they traded him. Kenny Stills was a 5th-round pick who turned out to be a really good NFL receiver, just not a good locker room guy, and they traded him. So my point is, as we've talked about often here, Sean Payton values culture. It's what he did when he first took the job in New Orleans, when he ran off guys like Wayne Gandy and Dante Stallworth, entitled veterans, and he changed the culture. And after back-to-back-to-back 7 and 9 seasons, he did the same thing. He ran off a lot of guys that weren't fully bought into what they were doing. They recreated the culture around a group of young, talented players and established veterans like Drew Brees and Cameron Jordan. And they built an incredible run where the Saints won more games in the NFL than any team over that stretch. Didn't result in a Super Bowl, as we know, but Sean Payton values culture. And my fear in seeing this is that Sean Payton just isn't going to tolerate it and that they're going to trade Michael Thomas. Now, some of you today are probably looking at that and saying, awesome, trade Michael Thomas. He's a locker room cancer. Get rid of him. So I'm not exactly there. I will run through some of the numbers, but I want to give some background to all of this first. You probably saw over the weekend Jeff Duncan's story where, to summarize it, Michael Thomas basically avoided the Saints' calls for quite a while this offseason while they were trying to check in on him with his ankle. He showed up to minicamp, was out there, the mandatory minicamp, was out there practicing, but then it was still bothering him, and that's when they had the evaluation and decided on surgery. It jives with everything I've been told that story is true, that Michael Thomas essentially put Saints coaches and front office personnel on do not disturb while he was away. And it led to this. Now, to Michael Thomas's point where he said, he didn't tell his side of the story. There is another side of the story, which is, he was going to a surgeon outside of the state of Louisiana. And what did those conversations go like? What was he told? I mean, those are some things that are his part of the story that ultimately have to be told. And as I was informed, Michael Thomas had his surgery in Green Bay, as a matter of fact. So he's been, he was seeing doctors outside of the state. So what was his comfort level? All that has to be told. But listen, while that certainly is key information, it's also something that, it might just be circumstantial because it doesn't change the way Michael Thomas has handled the whole thing and how Sean Payton might react to it. So I also believe that you're talking about a guy who really, truly believed at 27 years old that his body would heal. That time in a boot, time away, off of it, that his body would heal, and it did. Clearly it didn't. He needed the procedure, and now they're in this awful situation. But it doesn't change the fact that putting that out on Twitter gave me this sinking feeling in my gut. And I know many of you are saying he's a prima donna because I've heard it all from you. He's also a guy that set the NFL record for receptions in a season just 2 years ago. And that in a transition from Drew Brees, I would really like to have that security blanket for my next quarterback, Jameis Winston this year, whoever it might be, short and long term. Now you start to look realistically at, okay, if you do try to move on from Michael Thomas, what does that look like and what can you get? For what it's worth, the 5-year, $96.25 million contract that Michael Thomas signed does have an out after the 2021 season. But it does carry a $22.7 million dead cap hit for New Orleans. The real question would be, would the Saints be willing to eat that amount of a cap hit to move on from Mike Thomas? Now, a big part of that question is what happens at quarterback. Remember, Jameis Winston's on a 1-year deal, so depending on how he performs this year will determine if he gets a long-term contract or if you're pursuing someone else and what that means against your cap. You also have other big decisions to make against the cap with respect to Marcus Williams and Marshawn Lattimore and Teron Armstead and his future. So it's murky, and it's hard to justify swallowing that big of a cap number to have one of the best players in the league not on your roster. You have to be convinced you can't win with that guy. And I don't know that I believe that necessarily. The best case forward for the Saints and Michael Thomas is to heal that relationship and to heal his ankle and to have him be the best wide receiver in the NFL again for whoever your quarterback is. But if not, then you'd be looking at a potential deal. I'll remind you of the Brandon Cooks deal where he was a first-round pick who was your leading receiver twice, and you were able to send Brandon Cooks in the mid-round pick to New England for a first-rounder, which became it was a late one. It was the 32nd overall pick, which the Saints turned into Ryan Ramczyk. But if you really were going to deal Michael Thomas, you would be looking at eating that cap hit and thus looking to have affordable star players on rookie deals. So it's basically what they did in 2017 when you had that monster draft with Ramczyk and with Marshawn Lattimore and Michael Thomas, and you had all of these star players, Marcus Williams. You had all of these star players on rookie contracts, which allowed you the flexibility in free agency to go spend on veterans. They would have to replicate that. But in order to do that, you would have to have some of these young guys you've been waiting to step up actually flourish. And that's why this season is going to be so critical. It's also going to be critical just for Michael Thomas to get healthy, to get back, and hopefully play the second half of the season, be massively productive, and make that decision whether he stays or goes much more difficult. Because if he goes, then it increases his value. If he stays, even better, because you have a great receiver on your team. That's going to be a huge asset. But, man, when I saw that tweet, I just had a pit in my stomach because I know how Sean Payton reacts to this type of stuff. It's what he's done all the time. Look, Sean Payton today, when he was meeting with the media, he was asked about the Michael Thomas tweet. And this is how Sean Payton reacted to the question about the tweet.
Look, we're focused on our guys, and obviously we're focused on Mike getting healthy. But outside of that, that's never been an issue. I don't want to have a press conference based on social media.
A none too happy head coach. We'll monitor. Hits keep on coming for the Saints. We found out Will Lutz is going to be out for a portion of the season as well. We'll get to that a little bit. And Sean Fazan next hour as well. Let me knock out a quick break. We will talk some LSU fall camp, obviously. When we come back, though, I had a small window to bring Todd McClure in, so I want to do that. Former Tiger great, NFL veteran who was a teammate of Alan Faneka's at LSU, and Faneca was enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame on Sunday. So we're going to talk to Todd McClure, who was there in Canton. That's coming up next. Stick with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, 1hourbr.com. You see all of their vans and trucks, the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You see them all over town because at River City's 1 Hour Air, so many of your friends and neighbors trust River City's 1 Hour Air the same way that I do. How many businesses actually encourage you to go read their Google reviews, go read their Facebook reviews? River City's 1 Hour Air does, because they know what you're going to find. You're going to find satisfied customers just like me who gush about the timeliness, the friendliness, the quality of work of the technician that comes to your house. They go above and beyond to make you feel comfortable, but also to make sure the job's done right the first time. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Le posso offrire?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Now, to the Tigers. I've always strived to embody the spirit of LSU. Love purple, live gold. The memories and lessons learned from my time with you are forever ingrained in my character. Go Tigers!
It's outsounded in Canton, Ohio, when Alan Faneca became the 6th former LSU Tiger enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. His LSU teammate and our good friend Todd McClure was there in Canton. It's good enough to spend a couple minutes with us here on AFR. Todd, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
Oh, doing great, man. I appreciate you having me on.
It's our pleasure. All right, so what was it like?
It was unbelievable. It was my first time going, and, you know, to have a good buddy and teammate go up, I was like a kid in a candy store, man, because I love football. I love the game. And you look around, and you see the greats that have played the game, and they're right there. And then one of our buddies that we sweated on the field a lot was up there on the stage, and it was just unbelievable.
Hey, man, you played with Allen, obviously, at LSU and then against him in the NFL. First of all, I would love to know your thoughts. If you can go back to that spot, you know, when Allen was at LSU, like, could you have seen this day coming then?
There was always something when I first got there. Allen got there a year before I did. But when I first stepped on campus and got on the practice field with him, there was something different. He was at a different level than everybody else. And I think what separated Allen, and it was one of the things Chris Berman talked about last night, was the way he pulled. Nobody, I don't think, ever in the NFL has pulled with the tenacity that Alan Faneca did, and the way he finished blocks was just unreal. And that's why he has a gold jacket in his closet today.
And he's about 100 pounds lighter too, man. Like, when you look at this guy, what do you like? What do you see? What do you think when you think about how he's completely transformed himself?
No, it's unbelievable, man, because, you know, I remember, you know, our days, Allen playing, he was always one of the biggest guys in the room, and his head's still the same size and his hands are still the same size. But, you know, it's unbelievable. He wanted to get healthy, and he looks great, man. Allen looks absolutely great, and it was just fun last night to kind of sit back and watch him enjoy the moment.
I want to talk a little bit about last night as well and the event itself, but I asked you about Allen as a player when you were teammates. What about when you all were going through your NFL journeys sort of in parallel, just in different cities, watching him from afar? What was your thought of him, or what was the thought of him during his NFL career as a player?
No, he was just an ultimate pro. You heard him mention last night, and I think it's an unbelievable stat. 200 and some odd starts. I don't remember the exact number, and only be flagged or have 3 accepted holding penalties over that career. It speaks to the technician that he was. And whenever we played Pittsburgh several times, and when we would fly into Pittsburgh, Allen would always come pick me up, and vice versa. And whenever we were preparing for common opponents, I always watched Allen to see how he did, and I learned a lot just from watching his game over the years.
That's a really interesting. That's a really interesting tidbit there. You mentioned like the holding calls, only 3 holding calls in his career. But as a colleague, what else, when you would watch him play, really? I mean, you mentioned pulling, but like, what else really stood out? Because statistically, Todd, it's so hard with offensive linemen, right? I can't look at catches or rushing yards or passing yards or interceptions. Like, what else stands out for offensive linemen from offensive linemen?
Yeah, I talked about him pulling, and I guess I should have mentioned Allen very seldom got beat when he was in one-on-one situations in pass rush. That speaks to the lack of holding calls against him, because his technique, his hands, his pass sets were always just unreal, and they were that way in college. And he honed his skills over the years. And I've heard defenders talk about him, heard Ray Lewis talk about him, Warren Sapp, how they had to be on their A game when they played against Alan Faneker, or else they were going to get embarrassed. And that he never took a play off. He gave you 100% all the time, and he was just a consummate pro.
Todd McClure is with us, former teammate of Alan Faneker's at LSU, of course, a stellar NFL career in his own right. Let's talk about last night and being there in Canton. You said this was your first time ever in Canton?
First time.
Had you planned to ever go other than for something like this?
I'd always wanted to go to the Hall of Fame because, like I said earlier, I'm a student of the game. I love the game. I love the history of the game, and I always wanted to go and just never had the opportunity. So for this to be my first time and to be able to have that experience with not only Allen but a lot of my old teammates from LSU, and we got to enjoy this moment together as a group, watching one of our peers go up and achieve basically the best thing you can do in the NFL. He's in an elite class that will be remembered forever, and he should be up there. And it was just an unbelievable experience.
What else about the experience? But by the way, I saw the picture. I think that Kevin Falk tweeted out with some of obviously Allen's teammates, and you were in that picture. Did you all go together, or did you all just kind of rendezvous when you got up there?
What's crazy, and one thing I was in awe of, is the planning that Allen had to do, and his wife Julie took a lot of the weight off his shoulders. And obviously they had a team that helped send everything out, but the planning to get that event done started months ago. I guess when he got the knock on the door, we had the opportunity to purchase our tickets and find our way up there. But we all stayed, I think it was 2 or 3 different hotels. We hung out together at night and told a bunch of lies to each other, about our college days. And it was just a great time, man. And, we hung out as much as we could. We all sat together. Coach DiNardo was there, who was our coach during that time. Hal Hunter was our offensive line coach, was there. Some of our old strength coaches, Nick Buckholz, you name it. There was a lot of our old teammates, guys that Allen impacted in their lives, were there to honor him and be there for him to celebrate that great moment.
Todd McClure is with us, former Tiger great, teammate of Alan Faneker's, was at the Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinement this weekend in Canton. So you just flew back today?
Yes, just flew back today.
So give me something else that stood out that you'll take away from this weekend, obviously aside from seeing your teammate enshrined, but what else will stand out for this weekend for you?
For me, being there, I keep talking about, how much I love the game, and to see Peyton Manning, to be able to be in the audience and see Peyton Manning and his father Archie get up there, and one of the best to ever play the quarterback position, and I got to be there and see him go in the Hall of Fame. His speech was unreal. But the best part of it all, Matt, was Peyton invited Tom Brady to come, be in his group.
Right.
And when he got there, it was almost like Tom Brady stole the show. All the cameras flocked to Tom Brady and were right there in his section while Peyton's up there giving his speech. And it was just a really neat moment. Some of the greats in the game. And I was like a teenage kid that was sitting there waiting for autographs. I didn't ask for autographs, but I'm just looking at all these guys like, do you know who that is? You know who that is? It was unreal.
What did you think? For those that didn't hear, there was a moment where Tom Brady was booed. When Peyton mentioned Tom Brady's speech, and I guess the fans, you'll have to spell this out for me how it played. It's not like the fans would booed Tom Brady. The camera caught him, and he looks back laughing. He's like, what did I do? I mean, what was your read on that moment? What was your read on that moment being there?
Oh, it was awesome, man, because those two had some heated rivalry games against each other, and I think it was a great honor for Tom to come honor, Peyton and what he's accomplished. But it was just great to see the NFL fans that, loved the game. They were there for Peyton Manning, and they absolutely hate Tom Brady, and they let him hear it when they were there in the stands, man. It was great.
Do you hate Tom Brady too?
Well, I don't want to. I know where you're gonna go with that.
No,
so
I'm not going anywhere.
Yes,
I was just asking a very open-ended question as someone who played in the NFL and is very loyal to the Atlanta Falcons. Do you hate Tom Brady? That's all I said. It was not a leading question.
Let me leave with this. I respect the heck out of his game, man. But yes, I hate Tom Brady because of what he did to my Falcons.
Hey, man, look, I'm conflicted, right? Because he now eliminated the Saints, but he also had the 28-3. So I'm like, he did something really cool and something really awful. So I think I hate him. I hate him too.
There last year, and I'm like, is Tom Brady really that good? I'm like, he just doesn't. You watch a guy like Brett Favre or Patrick Mahomes that do just unreal stuff on the field, and Tom Brady is just so daggum consistent. And when he won it this year, I said, yeah, there's a reason. He's great. He may be the best to ever do it.
Yeah, that's gross. Whatever. I'm over him. I'm totally over that guy. Hey, before you go, I want to ask you a big open-ended question about this LSU team. It's specific, and obviously your level of expertise at the offensive line. As a group, they struggled last year. I don't think you've been out to practice, watching every snap. So I'm not asking you something super specific. But how realistic is it to think that group as a unit can exponentially improve from last year to this year?
Matt, I think the biggest thing, and you might could tell me better than I can answer it myself. They've got to replace a lot of starters.
No, they get 4 back. They were going to return everybody, but then Dare Rosenthal, their left tackle, transferred to Kentucky, so they get 4 starters back. But I guess the question that the way I've said it, Todd, so I'll say it to you, is just because you get everybody back from a unit that wasn't very good doesn't mean you're all of a sudden better. So what's realistic? Yeah.
I mean, they can improve. You got a guy like Deculus that's been there for 18 years now. You would think he'd be the leader. He'd be the leader of that group, and I think a scheme can help those guys. I'm anxious to see what the new offense or the adjustments we're going to make, what it looks like. I think a quarterback can help those guys out up front. I think there were times last year where they were exposed because maybe the guy in the backfield didn't know where the ball was supposed to go and didn't get it out at the right time. So all those things can make a group of offensive linemen look night and day better from what they were last year.
Todd McClure, 13 NFL seasons in his own right with the Dirty Birds, but we don't hold that against him because I just like you a lot. So, hey, man.
Hey, and one thing, man, the best thing I've heard in a while, I watched you and Terrio do talk about the Olympics and the Speedos. That was one of the best things I saw in a long time.
Are you kidding? Of all what's crazy about this profession? Seriously, Todd, what's crazy is I sit here for 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week, endless amounts of hours of prep. And all the things that you do, and you think you nail it. You go deep dive into this angle for a stat. You're going to find this thing that's really going to resonate with people. And it's Terrio talking about what did he say? He said Boudin and Boudin and plums in a Speedo. And Todd McClure says that's the best thing he's heard on the show in how long. There's times where I throw my hands up in the air and say, you know what, bleep it, just whatever. I'm gonna come in here and wing it. But then again, I have seen your TikTok channel, so it doesn't surprise me that appeals to you at any way.
Yeah, that's my slapstick style of humor, and Terrio's definitely a big slapstick.
He is that. It's the 6M Ranch, by the way. Go follow him on Instagram. I never thought I'd say follow Todd McClure on Instagram, but go follow the.
I'm learning the Instagram game.
Oh, you're learning it. I'm learning Instagram from you because you got how many followers do you have on that thing now? By the way,
TikTok is where it's at. We've got about 85,000. smiles. And,
Oh, my bad. My bad. I said Instagram. I meant TikTok. Yeah, your TikTok is at 82,000. It's insane.
Yeah.
82,000 followers on TikTok.
We enjoy making people smile, man, and I got some guys here that can definitely accomplish that.
You're right about that. It's a 6M Ranch in Antique Woods. Y'all check it out on TikTok. Or what's the website as well, Todd? Let's give that a shout out.
6M Ranch in Antique Woods is also the website.
Spell it all out.
Last time I gave it to you, you got on me for not simplifying a little bit, but it's number 6, letter M, Antique Woods, WODS.com.
You left out Ranch.
Check it out.
Even in giving out the website, you just left out Ranch. See, we need a simple. Can you just do 6M.com? Can you just do 6M.com?
Let me talk to my marketing department and my wife, and we'll see if we can get it changed out.
6M.com. Trust me, Todd. Go with it. 6M.com. It will simplify your life. Hey, man, thanks for a couple of minutes. Always appreciate you, man. We'll be in touch, all right?
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Todd McClure, one of the best. I've said this before, and I probably say it every time he's on the show. One of the, to say it's a great honor might be a little overstating it, but one of the coolest experiences when Todd was doing postgame with Hanny and we sat in the press box at LSU, I got to sit next to Todd in the press box. So I probably annoyed the hell out of him, but he's such a nice guy. He would never just slap me upside my head like he should have. But to watch a game next to a guy that played 13 NFL seasons and just be able to ask him questions throughout the game is if you ever have the opportunity, take it, because you realize how deep and how much the nuance that they watch the game, a completely different lens than we all watch the game. So I love Todd. He's an awesome guy, man. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Of course, Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. When we come back, we'll go around the SEC. Stick around here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Be sure to tell them Matt sent you when you go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations. On Saturday, Erica and I had dinner. Fired up the barbecue pit. We had dinner outside on our sort of back patio area. We put Drew in the pool, and we sat there and ate dinner. And it's incredible to be able to just sit in peace and have your meal outside and not be carried away by mosquitoes or other bugs. That's because we have the Spartan Mosquito Eradicator. I am a complete believer. We haven't sprayed our home. There's no treatment or anything like that. It's the only thing I use. It's about $30. It's at Clegg's. It's the size of a track baton. You take the top off, you fill it with water, you shake it up, you put the top back on, you hang it on your property line, and you're done with mosquitoes for 90 days at a time. I'm a believer because I've lived it. You will be as well. If you have mosquitoes, get the Spartan Mosquito Eradicator from Clegg's Nursery, and you'll never worry about it again. 4 locations in Baton Rouge. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I would say similarities would be just you're seeing that a double-edged sword from the run game to the pass game. You're not really seeing one specific area take off more than the other. You're seeing big plays with passes and big plays and runs. So just being able to have all those playmakers make plays in space was really similar. So
LSU senior offensive lineman Austin Deculus meeting with the media earlier today. Tigers hit the practice field here in about 30 minutes. They were supposed to be outdoors. It's storming in Baton Rouge right now, so I don't know if that practice is going to be moved indoors. We'll certainly let you know. Zach Von Rosenberg is going to be with us in 90 minutes for our LSU fall camp update to start hour number 3 today. So we'll get an update with how practice went. It's interesting hearing Deculus, who was here obviously in 2019, compare what this offense feels like. I'll grant you just 3 practices in the fall. Now, they did have Jake Peets here in the spring, but 3 practices into the fall as compared to 2019 and sort of the differences that he's seeing right now. The other thing which Ed Ogeron, when he met with the media, talked about, which is the benefit. We talked about this after Miles Brennan's injury, but it's sort of just the benefit of, and this is one from Ogeron, just the benefit of knowing that Max Johnson is your starter going into camp.
It does give us that we know who's our starting quarterback. Obviously, he's got to do it. He's got to be able to perform, but it does enable us to do some things. I mean, he's a lefty and Miles is a righty. It does give us some things that he does different than Miles. Obviously, I'm not going to say everything. I can't. But, we know Max is a little bit more mobile than Miles was, and there's some things that he can do. But also, we got to protect him. But you know what? We got to play to win the game. So whatever that takes, we have to do.
It's kind of an interesting balancing act, and I was thinking about this over the weekend, and I did candidly go and look it up because someone was asking about, we had this conversation on Friday, about whether or not they would run Max Johnson more knowing that your only backup now is Garrett Dellinger. So would you be more cautious, as you sort of heard Ed Ogeron allude to there, or would you not run him as much? And listen, they were in sort of a similar situation because Brennan was hurt, and so last year all you had were the 2 freshmen. You had Finley and you had Max Johnson. And I didn't really remember Max Johnson running the football that much. Not to say he didn't run. I think we all know that he's super athletic and more athletic than Miles is. Not it's a knock. It's just different skill sets. But when I went and looked up Johnson's rushing statistics, I just flatly didn't really remember him running as much as he did the last 2 games. Against Florida, Max Johnson ran 18 times in that game. That's a stunningly high number. Against Ole Miss, he ran 14 times. Now, I don't know how many of those were design runs, how many of those were scrambles. Remember, sacks also count again as rushing stats and rushing yardage. He was sacked twice against Florida, once against Ole Miss. But just by comparison, remember 18 carries against Florida for Max Johnson. the leading rusher on the team last year, if you look at Ty Davis Price, only twice all season did he have more than 18 carries in a game. He had 22 rushes against South Carolina and 24 against Arkansas. Aside from that, he didn't have more than 11 in any game. He had 11 against A&M and 11 against Mississippi State. So 18 carries in a game is a lot. And I think they're going to run Max Johnson because they have to run Max Johnson. It's just you get in his ear and say, listen, know when the play is over. Get down, get out of bounds, don't take unnecessary contact because you're already razor thin. It's going to be one of those storylines worth watching as we move throughout not only camp but the season. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Love telling you about South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. Of course, the Taos, which is the all-new fun-sized SUV. You can search their inventory online at SouthPointVW.com. And, of course, the ID4. I've been telling you about it. It is the first electric SUV for everyone. Winner of the 2021 World Car of the Year. It's from Volkswagen. It's available at South Point Volkswagen. Test drive one today. And did you know Monday is actually the best day to buy a car? Because everybody thinks you go on the weekend, because most do. So Mondays are actually the best day to go get the best deal. So get them by today. South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Excellence in imaging solutions. The Florida Gators.
So former Texas A&M starting cornerback Elijah Blades transferred out of A&M, and he's headed to Florida as a grad transfer. Blades is already in Gainesville. Hope of practicing Monday with the team. 6'2", 185. Blades left the Aggies June 10th. He's now in Gainesville. He was the number 4 JUCO player in the country in 2019 when he signed with A&M, but now he'll finish his career at Florida.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Nick Saban revealed Sunday that junior tight end Jaleel Billingsley is not currently practicing with the team. Saban would not disclose the reason, but when asked on Monday about it, he talked about, I'm not throwing it at you, by the way. He talked about his level of commitment. So apparently Billingsley has some off-field stuff that he's got to iron out. Saban did not include Billingsley in the injury update, so it's not an injury. Billingsley caught 18 passes for 287 yards a year ago, but with Miller Forrestall off to the NFL, Billingsley is expected to be the number 1 tight end for the Tide this year.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia special teams coordinator Scott Cochran stepping away from the football program because of health issues. Will Muschamp, who is a senior defensive analyst with Georgia, will step in during Cochran's absence. Cochran, 42 years old. It's unclear how long he'll be away. Remember, Georgia hired Cochran away from Alabama a couple of seasons ago to start 2020. On the field, Georgia's projected starting center Warren Erickson banged up at practice. He's expected to miss some time. It's an injury to his snapping hand. Georgia's not commented on the injury. Cedric Van Pran out of New Orleans is actually the lead option to replace Erickson while he's out.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
K'Ron Calbert sidelined from Tennessee's football practice on Monday. Senior offensive lineman played in 32 games over his career with 5 starts at right tackle. 6'5", 325. Calbert was working as the second-string right tackle during the first week of preseason practices. Undetermined how long he'll be out.
The Missouri Tigers.
And Mizzou has its new athletic director. It's Desiree Reed-Francois. She's been hired as the new Mizzou AD. The search took less than 2 weeks as she replaces Jim Sturk, who announced July 26th that he would be stepping down from his post. Reed-Francois is 49 years old. She's a former deputy AD at Tennessee. And it is a historic hiring because at 49 years old, Reed-Francois is the first Hispanic woman ever to oversee a Power 5 conference program. She becomes the second female AD at Vanderbilt, with Candace Lee being hired in February of 2020. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com. for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. Official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, and the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, that's further review. This was an interesting story. We got a break here in a second. Musso is going to have our final Olympic medal count. which I think there will be much rejoicing momentarily. You know what? Let's not put that off anymore. Let's break, and when we come back, we will rejoice with our final Olympic medal count. Stick around.
AFR.
Been telling you, our friends over at the Baton Rouge General Hospital encouraging all Louisianians, get vaccinated, really anywhere you are. Learn more about the vaccine. You can go to the website at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. There's info about the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine. Also, if you want to schedule your vaccine, you could do that online at brgeneral.org. There's the Express Care locations around town. Of course, you've got the Baton Rouge General campus on Bluebonnet, the Mid-City location as well. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. We have seen a spike in the Delta variant, and it has overwhelmed our medical infrastructure. And there is a way that you could play your part. It's by getting the vaccine. So log on to brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. I'd put mine off for a long time until I educated myself and understood the need for this, and would encourage you to educate yourself as well. brgeneral.org to learn more or to schedule your vaccine. brgeneral.org.
In the sunshine, everybody loves the sunshine.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Le posso offrire un caffè?
Le posso offrire un caffè?
After further The Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, Muse is going to have our final medal count here in just a quick second. This was interesting, though. The Arizona Cardinals have become the first NFL team to announce plans for a retail sports book in their venue. I'm actually part of me is bummed about this for one reason. The Caesars Superdome should be the first NFL venue with a retail sports book in it. If our lawmakers would get off of their tuchuses collectively and push this through. I mean, we've already voted on it. It's going to happen. Let's have sports books. I know it's coming, but not a moment too soon. For what it's worth, Arizona, Illinois, and D.C. are the places where professional sports venues are allowed to offer sports bettings. The Phoenix Suns have a venue coming, have a sports book coming in their venue. The Capital One Arena in D.C., where the Wizards, Capitals, and Mystics play, they opened their retail sports book in 2020. Amazingly enough, that Vegas wasn't the first to have this, but Wrigley Field has also received approval to build a 2-story sports book on premise. So, no doubt at some point the Caesars Superdome will come as well, but Arizona Cardinals will be the first NFL stadium to announce their plan for a retail sports book at their stadium. That's a great opportunity to remind you the NFL is almost here, but if it's NFL or MLB or whatever sport, DraftKings is now live in Louisiana, so you can play daily fantasy in Louisiana with DraftKings. They've dotted their I's, they've crossed their T's, and this is an amazing time to download the top-rated DraftKings app. Use the code Baton Rouge when you sign up. And for a limited time, all new players can have a free shot at winning thousands of dollars with their first deposit. There's never been a better time to get in on all the action with DraftKings and a free shot at winning thousands of dollars. Don't forget, enter the code Baton Rouge. Download the DraftKings app. Enter the code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge, only on the DraftKings app. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. All right, Muso, one last time here in 2021. We went into the weekend knowing that the United States of America had a commanding lead on the total medal count, but we were sweating it out in that gold column against the Commies. I mean, the Chinese, weren't we, Muse? I think that was the case.
They were sweating it out big time.
Well, we had the weekend to do some work, and work apparently we did. Muso with our final Olympic medal count.
For the third straight year, Matt, the third straight Summer Games.
Okay, third straight Summer Games.
The United States.
Not third straight year.
The
third straight game.
Right.
Yes.
The United States of America.
That's us.
We finished with the most gold medals.
Hell yeah, we did.
Of any country
in
the world.
USA! Go! USA! Yeah, British guy who loves America, but not really.
He's fired up about it.
He gets paid to be fired up about it, Muse. You and me, this is organic.
It's true.
This is pride. This is wrapping ourselves. Hey, TJ Solis. Say they put us on a sales floor. What do you want me to do, TJ? They put the studio on a sales floor. I didn't make the decision to put the studio on a sales floor. Gordy did that. Go yell at Gordy. He'll come open the door during the show being all mad and everything. By the way, if you want to buy advertising, call TJ Solis.
The United States women's basketball team, dominant, Matt.
388-9898. Ask for TJ Solis.
Japan.
388-9898. Call TJ Solis and advertise with us.
Had no chance.
Sylvia
Lost
Fowles.
by 15. Sylvia Fowles another.
Big Sil. Three or four? There are four.
Four gold medals.
4 gold medals for Big Sil. How about that?
15-point dub for the ladies, too. They were up 23 in the second half at one point. Wasn't even close.
Not even close.
How about the United States women's volleyball team, Matt? They got the clinching gold medal that put the U.S. above China.
Yeah! Where you at, Fines Wong?
Shout out to those girls. They were phenomenal for the entirety of the Olympics.
Yeah, they were.
118 total medals for the United States.
Wow.
7th consecutive Summer Games, Matt. We've finished with the most Olympic medals.
You know what that is? That's an all-American locomotive steam train running roughshod right over the rest of mankind, straight through Tokyo and up your donkey.
And guess what?
What?
If you think it's going to change,
give me more good news.
In 3 years,
give me more good
news. When the games are in Paris,
give me more
you're
good
sadly
news.
mistaken because the United States is going to win that too.
This steam train is going straight from Tokyo to Paris. You know what? We don't even need roads, as Doc Brown said.
It's going to make a stop off though in Beijing, so we can dominate the Winter Olympics too.
Oh, that's in Beijing?
It's in Beijing.
Well, didn't they just have the Beijing winter
summer?
It'll be
the first city. Yeah, it'll be the first city to host both.
So in 1 year or 2 years?
Next year.
Next year.
6 months, Matt. We get to do this again.
Oh, wow. 6 months, and now we get to do another Olympic update.
Great haul for LSU as well.
You know what would be great is if we got the Olympic update sponsored. Somebody on the sales floor could get the Olympic update sponsored. But the Olympics are over, so missed that boat.
But 6 months.
But 6 months. The winter game update.
That's the Olympic update.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Muse. All right, hour number 2 is coming up straight after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. You can schedule service online at ShawBillsTire.com. You can shop tires online at ShawBillsTire.com. The website is really, really easy to use. When you go to the website, you'll see right there in the center of the homepage, schedule service or find location. So if you want to schedule service or you want to find the location, just hit the corresponding tab and off you go. ShawBillsTire.com. And if you ever have to stay and wait on your vehicle, you can get a lot done at Shaw Bills. It's not an intimidating place. Like sometimes when you're like me and you know nothing about vehicles, car shops can be. But it smells great. They have a Keurig with free coffee. They've got comfortable furniture, high-def TVs, free Wi-Fi. I get a lot done at Shaw Bills. You could as well. Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Middle Relief, and after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdacody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Hand injury lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, developing story. The latest in the plan for Dak Prescott this week is to ramp up his light throwing a little bit. The Cowboys quarterback did some light throwing over the weekend. The team continues to be cautious with their $160 million man. When he returns to practice, still unknown. The Dak situation a little unnerving at this point, believes ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum.
We're about a month away from them playing Tampa Bay on opening night. And we're talking about the right shoulder, not the left shoulder of your starting quarterback. So every day that he's not out there throwing full, and again, he needs all the reps he can based on how much time he missed last year. This becomes more significant every day.
Dak missed the last 11 weeks of last season with a serious leg injury. Saints kicker Will Lutz expected to miss the start of the season due to injury. New Orleans will be trying out new kickers in the meantime. The Colorado Rockies say a fan did not yell racial slurs during yesterday's game against the Miami Marlins and that the man instead was shouting at the team's dinosaur-themed mascot named Dinger. Rockies say they spoke to the fan as part of their investigation into that incident.
Whether it's offering curbside or next-day delivery for online orders on over 160,000 parts, or getting involved in their local communities, when it comes to serving you, Napa's Motor never quits. That's Napa Know-How.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Taylor Sharp. I almost said Paul. Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Sean Fazan, bottom of this hour. We'll get a Saints training camp report 1 hour from right now. Zach Von Rosenberg will be with us for our LSU fall camp report as the Tigers hit the practice field here in just a matter of minutes. But I should have shared this at the start of the show. Forgive me, my mistake. I'd intended to, and then it just got away from me. But you all know Paul O'Neill, or you may not know, but Paul was not here on Friday. His wife, Sam, went into labor as they were expecting their first child. And fantastic news is that baby O'Neill was born on Saturday morning. Paul texted me. I asked him Saturday how everything went, and he Saturday afternoon replied, baby girl arrived this morning. Mom and baby are doing great. Everything went smoothly. Couldn't have asked for better delivery, which is awesome news. Now, I don't think they had a name picked out. So he just said baby girl arrived. He didn't tell me a name. So I don't yet know a name. I would assume by now they've picked a name, but actually I don't know. Do you know? You don't know?
I don't know yet. No.
I know.
Just name it Shaq. And come on, let's be honest.
Shaq O'Neal.
Shaq O'Neal.
Not a bad thought. Not a bad thought. I mean, let's be real. That's a terrible thought.
Yeah,
but,
it's a girl.
It's a really bad idea. It's a terrible. Either way, it's a bad idea. Maybe a good nickname though.
Oh yeah,
a good nickname. But so Paul's going to be out for like a month. He's got paternity leave, and then he also had some vacation saved. So as I was told today, we're not going to see Paul again until like the Monday after the UCLA game.
Right.
So Paul's gone for like a month. It's like great timing, man. right?
Football season.
Football season. So Taylor's going to hang out for a while. I think Danny's going to be here some days as well. So you'll get to know Taylor a little bit. Incidentally, Taylor, I don't know if you remember this, but you've been here a couple years? Maybe about a year?
I started spring of 19.
Okay, spring of 2019. I was scrolling through my TikTok account, and I found like an old TikTok where I was like going, do you remember this?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
Yeah.
But,
by the way, when
year
you
and a half
talk,
ago?
when you talk, put yourself on camera. So, no, for real, put yourself on camera when you talk. So, like, let the people see what's going on. But I was going around and just like to everybody. It was one of those like what's the song? I always feel like somebody's watching me. Well, I forgot who sang it anyway. It was supposed to be, or Michael Jackson has a part in that song. Maybe it was made for Michael Jackson.
Look, we can look it up.
It was either made for Michael Jackson or he has a part. I think, no, Michael Jackson is the one who's doing the I always feel like somebody's watching me, but that's it. Anyway, it was a favor to somebody, a producer. It was
Rockwell.
Was it Barry Gordy's son who did that? Who was Rockwell? I think it might have been his son, so they got Michael Jackson to do that part of it. Anyway, I did a TikTok. I was going around just like randomly filming everybody in the building. I was putting their name associated, and I got to Taylor, and I didn't know who he was. I just put him, and I said, can't remember his name.
No, I remember seeing it. It was funny.
I'm glad you had a sense of humor about it. My bad. Sorry about that. Sorry about that 16 months later. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you for filling in. I do sincerely appreciate you hanging out with us.
Got to get
All right.
Taylor a drop, though. We do.
We do. So, Taylor, do you have any preference on what your top of the hour drop will be?
Ooh, sharp dressed man.
Okay. See, he gave me an answer. Muse.
Yeah. Okay.
When you don't give me an answer is how you end up with Barbie Girl.
Hey, it worked.
Yes, it did. See? Didn't kill you, Muse.
Nah.
It only made you more recognizable. All right. We'll talk some LSU football in about 10 minutes. Sean Fazan, bottom of this hour. The hits keep on coming for the New Orleans Saints. My goodness. You probably saw this news, the report earlier today from Ian Rappaport. Unfortunately, that Will Lutz is going to miss some time. It's one after another. Now it seems like every day, every week, there's just more bad news. Will Lutz tweeted out the news as well on a note on his Twitter. He said, unfortunately, I found out that my training camp will be cut short due to an injury that had progressively worsened. After talking with our excellent medical team and training staff, as well as a second opinion from a specialist, we've decided to get our best interest. It's in our best interest to get this fixed now in order to miss at least the least amount of time possible. Thank you for all of your thoughts and prayers. Love the game of football, so sitting won't be easy, but I look forward to attacking rehab, coming back healthier and stronger to help this team win. So that was from Will Lutz earlier today. The estimates as far as time that he's going to be out is anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. So that is a gigantic blow for the New Orleans Saints, where it feels like every single day or every week we're talking about another player, another key contributor that's going to miss some amount of time. A couple things. First of all, Will Lutz has been a staple, a measure of consistency for the New Orleans Saints. He's attempted every field goal for the New Orleans Saints the last 5 years. Since 2016, Will Lutz has been the guy. Prior to that, you had a revolving door. In 2015, it was Kai Forbath and Zach Hawker. 2014 was Shane Graham. 2013 was Garrett Hartley and Shane Graham. 2012 was the last time you had one guy handle all the kicking duties the entire season. That was Hartley. In 2011, it was John Casey. In 2010, it was Hartley and John Carney. In 2009, we remember Hartley for the big kicks in the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl, but actually John Carney started that season, and then Hartley finished it. So it's not hyperbole to say that Will Lutz has brought a measure of consistency and stability to the kicking spot that the Saints had not previously had under Sean Payton. I mean, our joke was always, man, Payton and them kickers. And now in this season where you've had so many personnel losses, this is another with the Will Lutz injury. you really wonder how many body blows can you take. And it's starting to remind me a lot of the 49ers in 2020, where it just felt like it was one after another after another. The 49ers last year ended up with $80 million in salary on IR. Garoppolo, Richard Sherman, Solomon Thomas, Nick Bosa, Dee Ford, George Kittle, Raheem Mostert, Ben Garland, their starting center, ended up on IR. Ziggy Ansah, Jordan Reed, I mean, even that key backups like that end up on IR. And they went from being the NFC champs to being 6-10 and missing the postseason. So now you look at the New Orleans Saints this year, and Michael Thomas is injured, and David Onyemata is suspended for 6 games, and now Will Lutz is injured, and he's going to be out a couple of months, and you're waiting on suspensions potentially for Marshawn Lattimore and Deontay Harris. And then you look at all the personnel that you've lost from Breeze, Rankins, Brown, Hendrickson, Jackrabbit, Morstead. You're just a completely different roster, and the core of your roster you were hoping that would lead this team now is being gutted one by one by one. So, I mean, as optimistic as I can be about this team, with every passing day, I get less optimistic about what they can be. The young core of your team is fantastic, and they're super talented. You have some amazing football players. But you're losing a lot of those guys. Michael Thomas isn't there for 7 weeks, and David Onyemata is not going to be there for 6 weeks. And you just keep checking off the list, and you realize, well, when all of these guys aren't there, you're a team without great depth, but you have great top-line starters. Well, when a lot of those top-line starters are removed, your lack of depth is going to be exposed, just like what happened last year in San Francisco. And unfortunately, I think that's what's happening right now to the New Orleans Saints. So we'll talk more about this with with Sean Fazant at the bottom of the hour. Sean Payton did also give an update on replacing Will Lutz and what they're looking to do.
Look, we have enough reps where we'll work a couple guys out. We'll work more than that if we need to. We'll have a long-term plan and a short-term plan. I think relative to Will's surgery, I don't think it's an extended process, based on the history with that type of injury, but each one's a little different.
As it progresses and when the Saints sign a replacement, we'll certainly let you know here on AFR. All right, it's after further review from the black and gold to the purple and gold. When we come back, we'll talk some LSU. Tigers 3 practices in the books. What have we learned so far? What stood out? We'll talk about it next on AFR.
AFR.
If you're looking for dinner plans tonight, Ichiban, always a great option. Essen near Perkins, voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. I tell you every day to make tonight an Ichiban night. If you want award-winning sushi or hibachi, Ichiban is an awesome option. And from our friends at Ichiban, their latest concept is Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. If you have not tried it, it's authentic Japanese ramen, and it's conveniently located on Government Street just near I-110 in Electric Depot. Bo-Ru is an incredible dining experience where you can have authentic Japanese ramen, handmade noodles right there in Electric Depot on Government Street. The broth is a 30-hour process to get their broth. It's amazing. It's Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street, and it's attached to the Sweet Society dessert shop. So have your dinner and dessert all in one place at Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call this.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. Always appreciate our friends at Relief Windows, Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Sean Fazan in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll talk some Saints. As Mike Triplett did just tweet this, so I just did the whole segment on Will Lutz, and we'd keep you up to date if they sign a kicker. And apparently the Saints have signed a kicker. Brett Maher, the Saints are signing Brett Maher to replace Will Lutz, or to fill in for Will Lutz in the meantime. Spent 2 seasons as the Cowboys kicker in 2018 and 2019, and he's been on the practice squad for the Jets, Washington football team, Texans, and Cardinals. So Saints are signing kicker Brett Maher to replace Will Lutz in the meantime. All right, it's after further review. Again, we'll talk more about that with Sean Fazan coming up. Ed Ogeron met with the media over the weekend as Tigers now 3 practices into fall camp today on the practice field. Actually, scheduled to be on the practice field as we speak for their 4th practice of fall camp. They'll practice today, tomorrow, and then have their first day off on Wednesday. Probably the best news so far in fall camp for LSU is there's been no injuries. And that's not the case everywhere. If you're with us and around the SEC, Georgia's starting center has an injury on a snapping hand. Tennessee, one of their most veteran offensive linemen, has also been injured early in camp. Like, you're playing football. And even though you're not full pads yet, injuries happen in football. And so far, thankfully for LSU, they've avoided injury through the first few days of practice. But that doesn't mean that they've avoided all personnel losses. As Ed Ogeron did let us know, that Nick Storrs, who, of course, started his career with the LSU baseball team with a ton of promise and potential, last year moved over to the football team to play tight end. It looks like his career is very likely over.
Nick Storrs, right now, it looks like he's going to be medical. We're not sure yet. We're still getting some information, and it's unfortunate. I don't know if he'll be able to play football again. We still have some little research to do there. But it looks like that's going to happen. Pat Mashbourne's a guy that's got to come along, and I believe in Cole. He's gotten bigger. He's about 245, 250. Jack is a very athletic tight end. We may have to move somebody else if one of those guys get hurt, because we're playing with a tight end and mostly in the core most of the time. And but I do believe we got some guys that can do it. I'm really looking forward to Jack and Pat Mashburn backing up Cole and going in there and rotating and get some reps. But it looks like Cole's going to be our main guy.
Of course, Cole being Cole Taylor, he of the famous shoe throwing game. LSU had had recruited guys at this position, but defections have left them paper thin. Of course, Eric Gilbert's now at Georgia. You signed Jalen Shedd last year. He's left the program. He's now at a JUCO in Mississippi. And that's basically left you with Cole Taylor as your only scholarship tight end. Now, you have a walk-on in Mashburn, who Ogeron alluded to, and you have moved freshman wide receiver Jack Besh from receiver to tight end. And that's going to be the really interesting one for me, is how quickly can Jack Besh sort of assimilate at tight end? Because you just don't have bodies there. You don't have options there right now. You've got Cole Taylor. You've got a freshman converted wide receiver in Jack Besh and a walk-on. And that's it. It's also worth mentioning Aaron Moffitt has signed with LSU as a defensive lineman. It's Tommy Moffitt's son, of course, Calico, who, come on, Moose, you know I had to. Who converted to tight end at so that H-back role, but was injured, missed last season, but is back this year. So you have Aaron Moffitt there as well. I don't know how much of a legitimate pass-catching threat he would be, more of a big body in there sort of as a blocker, but that's when you kind of become predictable by personnel. So it's really important for a guy like Jack Besh to come along very, very quickly. But they are thin. They're very thin at tight end. It's why they've got 2 already committed for next year's class. But something certainly worth watching. So freshmen are always part of the interesting conversation early in camp because it's the first time we ever see them. I mean, we talk about these guys so much throughout the recruiting process, and then you wonder how they may fit in. And some of these guys we get to see during spring drills, but by and large, this is really when you start seeing guys compete for roster spots. And Ed Ogeron had a lot of good things to say about Sage Ryan, the freshman defensive back out of Lafayette. Give a listen.
He had a big pick at the end of the game today. And then team period. Our guys love him. He's probably going to be one of our top returners. We're going to use him in the kicking game. We want to use him at nickel, but we also want to play him at safety. We're looking at a guy being a freshman to come out and play excellent on special teams. Back up Cordell maybe. Cordell Flott at nickel. And also learn the safety. He's very smart. We want to send him. I think he's a good blitzer. He's very aggressive, very smart. Ball hawk. I think he's going to be a great player for us.
Kind of sounds like safety, nickel, good blitzer. Doesn't that sound a lot like Jacoby Stevens? Doesn't that sound a lot like the role Jacoby played? A guy that could play that deep middle, could also come play near the line. He could cover the backs or tight ends. He could also rush the passer, on a safety blitz. I mean, that makes a lot of sense for a guy that's that athletic. So you've got Cordell Flott as your nickelback. You know who your boundary corners are going to be with Ricks and Stingley. Cordell Flott's your starting nickel. You're working Sage Ryan there and also letting him play safety. Basically, they're trying to find a way to get this guy on the field any way they can. And then also in the return game, which makes me very happy because, as you well know, I do not want Derek Stingley returning kicks. I love Derek Stingley. I'm not saying he can't do it. I just think I don't want to put him at risk doing something he doesn't need to do when you've got athletic guys that you're trying to figure out a way to get on the field. Let Trey Palmer return kickoffs. Let Sage Ryan return punts. I don't care how you do it. You got enough fast, athletic dudes that can catch a ball and run. So if it's Sage Ryan, awesome. Let Sage Ryan get out there and do it. So that's really encouraging through a couple of days of practice. One other from Ed Ogeron that I wanted you to hear was him talking about, he was asked about Jacoby and Guillory on the defensive line. And this is a spot we expect to be a position of strength. Remember, Guillory came in last year with Jaquelin Roy. It was part of that sort of two-headed tandem that we're expecting those freshmen to play really well. And Jacobian didn't really get on the field until late in the season. And it sounds like he may still have some work to do.
Hopefully that he can play this year. I think that he's deserved a chance to play. He's got to have a very good camp. I think he squatted like 650 pounds the other day. He's had his best summer. He took a lot of reps today and did very well. He's in the best condition he's been. He's lost some weight. I think that the more consistent he's able to show that he can stay in his gap, he's very strong, know his defense, and be in good shape. I think that he can be a very good football player for us. He's not there yet, but he's coming along.
Think about this. So, 6-year Andre Anthony and then Ali Gay are your starting ends. On the interior of Glenn Logan, Neil Farrell. You'll also have Joe Evans and Jaquelin Roy, and then Mason Smith, a 5-star number 1 defensive tackle in the country. Mason Smith, 5-star number 1 defensive tackle in the country, could be your 5th defensive tackle. And then Guillory could be 6th, if that goes according to plan. Now, there could be shuffling. We'll see how that works with the rotation, and I expect all of these guys to play. But doesn't that speak to what we've talked about a lot, which is the depth at defensive tackle? I mean, when Ed Ogeron is your head coach and his whole forte is recruiting in defensive line, you would expect to have deep, dominant defensive line play. And it hasn't always been like that, in part because when he got here, they were running a 3-4, and that's what they were recruiting to, and then he wanted to switch to a 4-3. So he had big guys like Tyler Shelvin and Apu Ike, and even Jacoby and Guillory, who maybe didn't quite fit the 4-3 that you're finding those spots. But when you look at it now, he's got that line, and especially thanks in part to the guys that returned. But, I mean, just think about how different this conversation would be if you had lost Gay, Anthony, Farrell, and Logan. If you had lost your entire starting offensive line. Now you're talking about a starting line that might be Joe Evans, Jaquelin Roy. Mason Smith is your 3. Like, it's a very different feel than what we're talking about now, which is why you should feel really confident about that group because the numbers are there. And not just numbers, but quality depth there as well. And Jacoby and Guillory looks like he's fighting for a spot. When you flip it over to the offensive side of the ball, one of the big questions, you know who your starting 5 are going to be. We've all had this question, is about depth. Ed Ogeron has kind of gushed about Anthony Bradford and Garrett Dellinger. Well, Austin Deculus, fifth-year senior, was asked with media availability today on Monday about the freshman Garrett Dellinger and what he's seen so far.
Garrett's like a little brother to me. I really tried helping him ever since he first got here, but he's really been coming along very well. He's been improving daily. He brings that effort to the table. He's a big kid, and the one thing that stands him apart from a lot of incoming freshmen that you'll see just overall as an aspect is just like yesterday, they put him in, just give him a couple reps with the ones he didn't blink at all. Sometimes I was one of those guys, they put me in with the ones every now and again. My freshman year, I was a little hesitant, but whenever they put him in, he was just like one of the guys. He just hit the ground running.
All right, so the most impressive thing you said there is they put him in, get Dellinger in with some reps with the ones he didn't blink. That, for me, and we've talked about it, for me, my biggest question marks on this team, defensively, can Mike Jones and Major Burns step in and play key roles immediately at linebacker and safety? And then offensively, can you develop depth on your line? I don't want to count on a true freshman, but if that's where you are, okay. And it sounds like so far so good on Garrett Dellinger, so we'll keep you posted. All right, it's after further review. So wait, Muse, okay. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Sean Fazan, Fox 8 in New Orleans, is going to join us when we come back and give us a little Saints camp report. The Saints have signed a kicker to replace Will Lutz. It's never boring around Saints camp. Certainly has not been boring at all this camp. We'll delve into it with Sean Fazan next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Insurance.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Well, with every passing day down in New Orleans, it feels like we have another body blow to the Saints roster. That certainly happened today with the word that Will Lutz is going to be out for an indefinite amount of time. Our buddy Sean Fazan, Fox 8 in New Orleans, good enough to join us here today. Sean, thanks as always, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Let's start with sort of just all of the personnel. Look, I mean, everything that's going on. Hell, I don't even know where to start, Sean. Let's start with Will Lutz, since that's the most timely. Reaction to this news and what you can tell us up to this point?
Well, he obviously confirmed the core injury, which will require surgery. The question is the timeline. There's been numbers speculated about in terms of weeks thrown out on social media. I have not been able to confirm that timeline. Sean Payton would not confirm that timeline, but nonetheless, it's big enough to hold kicker workouts and sign a guy today, Brett Maher, who last played in 2019, I believe, for the Cowboys. He is now the Saints kicker for the foreseeable future, or at least until he's able to, or at least until they, unless he blows it and they go with another person. But yeah, that's just the reality of the situation added to the list of whether it's suspensions or arrests or injuries or re-injuries. I'll say this, when we saw Lutz the one time he was on the field, he was 6 for 6 and really hitting the ball good. But in a season where there's so many unknowns, to now not have one of the top kickers in the NFL, a guy that was pretty reliable for you going into a season, starting the season for the foreseeable future without him, and add that to the cumulative impact of all the other players that could miss the start of the season, you can understand why there is some tension or some anxiety amongst the fan base. But you talk to the Saints coaches, and Sean Payton's kind of got this. All right, we got to move on, and yet here they are.
He doesn't have any option. We can have all the angst we want. He's got to figure it out. What about the Michael Thomas tweet earlier Monday, which, man, it feels like we've seen that before with Saints players, and it never sort of ends well. So what was your reaction when you saw it?
only surprised was that it took him this long to tweet, to be honest. When did that article come out? Was it Saturday? Sunday? Normally when the word gets out, Thomas is not shy about going to social media to voice his displeasure with just about anything written or said negatively about him that he catches window. Man, this is a tough situation, and if you read Jeff's article, which is pretty in-depth, pretty detailed, there was a situation where he got the second opinion, which is perfectly reasonable and normal within the realms of NFL player injury type protocol, but to basically go radio silent for the time that he did, at least according to that article, is certainly not a good look from your star player who was just paid a lot of money. Now to hear this from Michael Thomas, who knows what he's hinting at, but I will say this, when it comes to injuries and when it comes to these types of situations, there have been, things in the past between player and organization that, sometimes needed to be ironed out. We'll see if it gets to that point. But, man, it just feels like the relationship between these two parties, the Saints and Michael Thomas, just keeps drifting further and further away. And, who knows what the future holds. We know he's on PUP. We know they're moving on with other players, at least in his absence. We know for a fact that the Saints coaching staff is much higher on their receiving core than a lot of us in the media seem to be heading into the training camp. And, through first 10 practices, you'd say they've made some plays, but it's, with a group that's mostly unknown, you need something other than your own guys to really measure that against. So I guess we'll see. But again, nonetheless, this is a situation that they're in. It's just really tough when you talk about a guy that was really on the path to superstardom, and now over the last 2 years, year and a half, whatever it's been, it's just been one thing after another, and you just got to wonder, how fractured is the relationship between he and the Saints.
He's Sean Fazan. He's on Twitter at Sean Fazan, Fox 8. He's with us here talking some Saints camp. All right, let's talk about the guys who are actually there. Everyone keeps asking about the quarterbacks. You're there every day. I'm following you on Twitter. Am I reading it correctly to say that it seems as though maybe Jameis Winston has started to separate himself at quarterback?
Not to me, no.
Okay.
I think it depends on what you view or what you're looking at. He had a good practice today. I think he struggled on Saturday in the red zone situation. I thought he finished well today. I don't know that I've seen anyone that's taken over this race. I mean, if you have him in the lead or if someone has him in the lead, it would be by a slim margin. This quarterback competition, in my opinion, is ready for a preseason game. I really need to see this against some other guys, some other defenses, and some other type situations as opposed to, what we've got over the last 10 practices. There's been some moments where Taysom has done well and he struggled. There's been some moments where Jameis has had some wild moments, but also some moments where he struggled as well. I don't know if someone was expecting someone to run away with it this early or early enough, but in my opinion anyway, I don't know that Jameis would necessarily be separating himself. I thought he had a better practice today than Taysom Hill, but in the grand scheme of things, I still believe it's pretty close.
If I asked you to go a little deeper, what would you say for both guys, Winston and Hill? What are they doing well so far, and what do they need to improve on individually?
Well, I think the knowledge of the system is obvious for both guys. You could tell they really worked on that part of the game. The mechanics in both guys have gotten better. Jameis had some footwork issues last year. He certainly feels like that has improved. Taysom had footwork issues, obviously, last year. That has certainly improved. The weight loss, in my opinion, has helped Taysom. The leaner he is, it just feels like it's helped with some of his mechanics and his throwing motion as well. So I think that has certainly, they have both grown within this offense and executing the offense and kind of leading the team. You can certainly feel the comfort level of both guys. But I got to say, for two guys who, you talk about arm strength and pushing the ball deep, they've combined for a grand total of 2 deep balls connected throughout camp. One from Jameis, one from Taysom, what I consider a true deep ball, a 9 route or a deep post, however you want to call it. It's been two connections. So there's a lot of talk about that, but I just haven't seen that on a consistent basis from either one of those guys. And it all comes down to decision making. Are you making the right decision on a given play? And I think both guys, if they're being honest, will tell you they have grown in that regard, but it can also get a little bit better in that regard as well.
What about the rookies? Anybody standing out?
Peyton Turner.
Okay,
Length is obvious. He's a guy who I'll be honest. I kind of feel if this holds up once preseason and regular season starts, I kind of feel a little dumb about not being higher on him when they picked him. If that indeed is the case, he has really played well and made some flash plays where he's gotten some sacks and just kind of beat up the offensive lineman on the way to that sack. So Peyton Turner has certainly looked good in my opinion. Pete Werner has gotten a lot of first team reps. I know the coaches like his intelligence, and he's a guy that has got on the field quite a bit. Paulson Adebo has mixed in a little bit with the first team in terms of getting some reps. Kawan Baker has caught a few passes, and Ian Book, there's been moments where I can recall right now, wow, arm strength underrated. Got a strong arm, and he had 2 strikes today that were in the red zone that were on point. So I think those rookies have done fairly well, but the one that stands out, at least in terms of what I think is going to translate, or at least the Saints hope is going to translate, is Peyton Turner on the edge. That's a guy that's got, his size and his length is certainly noticeable, and he is really caught on quickly with Ryan Nielsen in that D-line.
Sean, there's a million things I could ask you about. Just let me get a few more in here, and we could do it quickly. I don't want to keep you all day. Quan Alexander, what is he doing out there right now?
A lot of working off to the side with the trainers, getting a lot of work in. Sounds like the Saints are going to take that slow. I don't know if he's going to get much work in the preseason. Maybe by the third preseason game he does. They don't want to risk anything, and I can't say I blame them with the luck they've had over the last couple of months. He says he's legendary, which is his favorite word, and but that means 100%. But they are taking it slow. But I would be shocked if he wasn't just starting the linebacker next to Demario Davis once the season starts.
There are reports that former first-round draft pick C.J. Henderson is available for trade. Sean Payton has called cornerback a must. I don't think anyone thinks, and you tell me if you disagree, that Prince Amukamara is the answer. So is C.J. Henderson a possibility for New Orleans?
Yes. Anyone who is available at a reasonable price that can play is going to be someone the Saints consider. They are not set at cornerback. Everyone knows it. Sean Payton knows it. You can see it on the field. Even when you see a pass break up here and there, you have to look at it and kind of project it to what would happen in the regular season. They are not set at cornerback, and that is the biggest vulnerability. And they can lose games. Patrick Robinson and Ken Crawley are not going to start at cornerback in week 1 for the Saints. If they do, you got obviously have a few issues. So yes, I can absolutely see the Saints making a play for a guy like Henderson if he's available at the right price. The Howard situation in Miami. When it was floated out there 2-1s, I knew they had no chance. There was just no way, and no to risk the future on a team that's not winning a championship this year. Most likely, to me, it seemed like it's a gamble. And lo and behold, he's got everything worked out in Miami, so they move on to the next guy. But the trade route was always going to be the route to get the clearest upgrade at that position. So whoever becomes available, the Saints will be major players, in my opinion, to get that player.
P-Rob and Ken Crawley against Aaron Rodgers week 1.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Dude,
exactly.
All I can do is laugh. Like, if that's the reality, I'll just drink a lot on Sundays and not really sweat it.
I would start Debo in that scenario at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Agree.
I would go with the rookie at that point, to be honest with you.
I agree. Sean Fazan, Fox 8 New Orleans. Make sure you catch his practice recaps as well. He actually calls them after further review, so you can catch that. It's a great name. Make sure you're subscribed or you follow Sean on Twitter to get all those links. Sean, we appreciate you, man. Thanks so much.
All right, bud. Appreciate it.
All right, man. We'll see you later. It's after further review. Tell you all the time about HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. I tell you, do business with someone you know. Ignore the door knockers. They're all over the place. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing. That's me. That's Ryan Terrier. That's our partners. That's Jeff Hudson, who started the company up in North Louisiana 20 years ago. John Michael Garcia and Richard Tilley and Sam Hay. We got such a great team. And we're Louisiana-born, Louisiana-raised, use Louisiana products. All of our shingles are CertainTeed shingles manufactured in Shreveport, Louisiana at HUDCO Roofing. When you call HUDCO, you're doing business with a local company that's been here and that will be here. So here's what I would encourage you to do. It starts with a free, no-obligation roof inspection. We do not have to come to your house. We have to come to your house. We don't have to come inside your house, and you don't have to be home. So just give us a ring. You can go to the website, HUDCOroofing.com, hit the contact tab right there at the top. You can fill out the contact form, or you can call us at 364-1007. That's in the 225, 364-1007, 364-1007. As a matter of fact, if you call that number right now, Terrio may answer. 364-1007 for HUDCO Roofing. We'll get you scheduled. We'll come out to that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. We'll let you know if you have damage. We'll help you file a claim with your insurance company. If not, we'll send you on your way. It's HUDCO Roofing. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. All right, y'all, glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Monday edition of AFR. We'll knock out our final break of hour number 2. Muso will have Tigers in the pros. Busy third hour. Zach Von Rosenberg in about 15 minutes. We'll do our LSU fall camp reports. Tigers are back on the practice field. And Greg Dykman made his big league debut with the Chicago Cubs on Friday. Played last night against the White Sox. They got a game tonight at home against the Brewers. So because it's a night game, good enough to have Dykman be able to join us for a couple of minutes. So that's coming up in about 45 minutes from right now. Excuse me, about 30 minutes from right now. All right, glad you're with us. Final break of hour number 2. Stick around, AFR.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. That's what I tell you about every day with Insurance Network of Louisiana. The process could not be easier. LAinsurance.net. LAinsurance.net. Go to the website. You'll see the quotes tab right at the top of the page. Tap that. Fill out a little info. Boom. The guys and gals over at Insurance Network of Louisiana get to work for you. You may have a great relationship with your insurance provider. Maybe your person that handles your account has done so for a long time. But there's a big problem. No matter how nice that person is, that agent that works with State Farm or Allstate or Liberty Mutual, whoever they are, they can only get you rates from their parent company. And the problem with that is that they can't really do much about what their parent company will allow them to do. When you call Insurance Network of Louisiana, they go shop dozens of the top-rated companies in the world. They shop for you to get you the best coverage for the least amount of money. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana, 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana Barbecue Sauce, Louisiana Molasses Mustard, Spicy and Sweet Barbecue Rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com.
after further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, presented by Relief Windows. Always appreciate Brandon Holly and the gang. They do beautiful work. You need windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. All right, wrapping up the hour. Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
Mikey Matuk and Charlotte, they had a doubleheader yesterday versus Gwinnett. Matuk went 3 for 7 in the doubleheader, scored 3 runs, hit a double, and his 16th home run of the season. Drove in 3 runs. Productive day.
Attaboy, Mikey.
Matuk for the year in AAA, 235, the 16 homers, and 36 runs.
Get my guy a call up.
Deserves it, honestly.
Get him back up there.
Deserves
16 yaks. Let's go.
Bruh. There's a shot to left field, too.
I saw it.
A shot.
Good.
We had another first for Greg Dykman yesterday in that game versus the Chicago White Sox. That'd be his first run batted in of his Major League Baseball career. It was off of a 2-out single. Dykman's only hit of the day, 1 for 4. 222 average so far in the bigs with the 1 RBI.
How is he? He's 1 for, so he's 2 of 8. He's 1 for 8. Shouldn't be 250. Am I missing something? I thought it was 1 for 5. He was maybe 1 for 5 in his debut, maybe.
Did he not play Saturday as well?
He did not.
Okay, so he's probably 1 for 5 in the debut then.
Okay.
He was 1 for 4 like yesterday. NBA Summer League. Hey, for what it's worth, Cam Thomas and the Brooklyn Nets, they're playing right now on ESPN2 right there. Get you an update from Cam a little later on maybe. Skylar Mays, though, 30 minutes in a loss last night to the Celtics, but scored 13 points off of 4 of 11 shooting. 1 of 6 from 3, added a steal and an assist. Antonio Blakeney, maybe a name you haven't heard of in a while, playing for the Portland Trailblazers, 27 points off the bench. That led all scorers in the game. 9 of 10 shooting, decent percentage. 2 of 3 from behind the arc, 1 rebound, and a block.
Doing work, bro.
His teammate...
Dude can still get buckets, man.
Yeah, he can fill it up still, man. Kind of an interesting career overseas, bouncing around the NBA a little bit, G League. He's been a journeyman as Blakeney, but can definitely still fill it up. His teammate, Trendon Watford of the Portland Trailblazers, 17 minutes off the bench yesterday, 4 points, 2 of 2 shooting, 4 boards, an assist, and a steal. Cam Thomas, for what it's worth, 4 points so far for
LSU,
the Brooklyn Nets.
The LSU basketball Twitter, I saw this like in the break, just tweeted a video from the there it is. Here it is. Well, let me see.
5 points.
They tweeted a video of Cam coming off the dribble. Like, check this out. Like, he's got the ball, top of the key, off to the wing, whoop, from the elbow, got him.
It looks familiar, doesn't it?
How many, like, the mid-range jumper, I don't want to be like, back in my day guy, but like, the mid-range jumper is just such a lost art.
It is.
It's either a 3 or it's a go to the rim and get fouled or dunk it. It's beautiful to see, man. He's how much space he had because
he's so smooth at it too,
nobody's expecting a guy just to pull up from the elbow. I'm just gonna take this. Thanks, I'll take it. Boom, got it. Thank you.
5. I said 4. 5 points. He added another one so far. So Cam, 9 minutes, 1 of 5 shooting, but 3 of 4 from the line and 5 points.
That'll be.
Yep. Finally, Sam Burns yesterday.
Oh no!
Yeah, I know, man.
Sam!
It was a day that started with so much promise. A final round 64 led to a Sunday charge at the World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Burns would find himself in a 3-man playoff with Masters champion Hideki Matsuyama and Abraham Ancer of Mexico. Abraham Ancer would win after Burns had one of the most cruel lip outs you'll ever see for birdie to extend the playoff. You're showing it all. You know what makes it worse? It was inside Ancer's birdie putt that he made prior. Yeah. Still, it would have a great year so far for Sam Burns. It's bad. Would have been his second win of the season for Sam Burns. Falls just short. Does have one and a bunch of close calls. I'm interested to see if Sam gets any run as a potential alternate for the Ryder Cup team. The Ryder Cup is next month.
He has had a great year.
That's Tigers of the Pros.
Presented by KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. Kentucky's Best Hemp. I talked to Lewis Coleman earlier today, his company, by the way. Talked to Lewis Coleman. He said they are crushing it with the CBD gummies. And by the way, how about this little factoid? Kentucky's Best Hemp, based out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Their number one state in online sales is not Kentucky.
Of course not. Why would it be?
It's Louisiana. How about, and by the way, this is the only advertising they do in the state. How about the AFR crew, the legions getting out there and rocking to the stupid jingle and buying their CBD gummies and oil and salve and all that stuff from a former Tiger, Lewis Coleman, using the promo code AFR30, AFR30 to save 30% off your order at KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. Kentucky's Best Hemp. All right, it's after further review. Stephon Sullivan, by the way, activated off the COVID-19 list. He's with the Carolina Panthers and former LSU passing game coordinator Joe Brady. So another former Tigers to keep an eye on that we might see this year during the season. Hour number 3, we'll talk to Zach Von Rosenberg next.
AFR.
If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. That's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020 or online at williamsoneye.com. They're a full-service optical shop. If you want your eye exam, if you need to buy your contacts or your glasses, or if you want to do like I did, like thousands of other Louisianians have done, and change your life, the Williamson Eye Center can make that happen. 924-2020. Whatever your refractive issue, Dr. Blake Williamson and the Williamson Eye Center, they have a refractive procedure available to help you be able to live your life without contacts or glasses. That's the Williamson Eye Center. It's LASIK like me, maybe PRK like Hester had, lens replacement like Jimmy Ott had. There are so many options in ophthalmology, and there's no one better than the Williamson Eye Center. So call 924-2020. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi with breaking NBA news from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Maverick superstar Luka Doncic has agreed to sign a landmark 5-year, $207 million Supermax rookie extension. He's the first player eligible for the designated rookie max extension upon signing because he's already twice been voted first team All-NBA. NFL, the Cowboys continue to be cautious with quarterback Dak Prescott, plan to slightly ramp up his light throwing this week as he continues to work his way back from a lat strain in his right shoulder. The main concern for Dallas's offense is Dak's health, but it's not the only one, notes ESPN's Mina Kimes.
The other thing that could really hurt Dallas on offense, they should be a juggernaut, is if there's any injuries along the offensive line. Right, last year, the three best players on the line, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Lyle Collins, missed a combined 36 games. They started more combinations across that group than they have since like 2002.
Giants running back Saquon Barkley returned to practice for the first time since suffering a knee injury early last season. He expressed optimism he could be ready for the regular season opener.
Hey, it's Keith, and we're back on Tuesday. Preseason games get going for the rest of the NFL this week, and we'll tell you the most important player for each Super Bowl contender. Tuesday morning on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate that.
Taylor Sharp. And Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Greg Dykman, Chicago Cubs outfielder Greg Dykman, here in about 15 minutes from right now. But right now, the LSU football team back on the practice field. That means it's time to get an LSU practice report from Zach Von Rosenberg.
For show, playboy, I'm a horror like Evil Knievel, jumping out Lexus and Hummer, showing off on my peak.
I'm the number one punter. I'm the number one punter.
It's so bad.
Yeah, that intro's already grown on me. I love it.
It's so bad. I love it. It's so bad.
It's so bad, but I love it.
Oh, it's so bad.
So bad it's good.
It's so bad it's so good. Hey, should we shorten the intro part until we get to the number one punter? Or do you like having that much lead up to it?
You know what? You do whatever you want to do. You've been doing this long enough. It doesn't matter to me. I laugh every time that throws me off guard. So I actually forgot about the intro.
I just want him to play the intro over again, as a matter of fact. Okay, so let's delve into it. Zach's going to be with us here every time the football Tigers are on the practice field. Zach will be here with a practice report. So, and you obviously are certainly qualified to do this, having been on the team for the last 5 years and know a lot of these guys. Let's start with, all right, 4 days into camp. just the general feel and vibe around it. Good energy. What do you see out there?
Yeah, great energy. It's been, a high tempo. I've done some more recon for this practice. I got to look at some of the notes and the PowerPoints they had up to see, the percentages of guys in their one-on-one. And I was going to lead out with Brian Thomas. He's perfect 100% in all his one-on-one drills, and he's not getting cheap reps. He's had reps against Elias Ricks and our, some of our best DBs, and he's really showing out. So he's the guy that I'm watching today. I haven't seen him catch a ball yet. They're doing red zone drills right now, but he's got impressive paper numbers right now.
So that's awesome, because normally we're talking about these freshman wide receivers, and everyone's sort of had that question: is it Hilton? Is it Brian Thomas? Maybe some of the other guys. How would you sort of, at a position that seems like it's such a glut of talent, right? Like, how do they figure and rotate who is going to get the reps at that position?
Well, ultimately, it's going to be the guy that you can trust on Saturday. But obviously, the freakish talents, the guys that they can, schematically make the best, put the best position to make a play. And right now, I think obviously Keyshawn Boutte is going to be number one, and I think Brian Thomas is going to make a case to be number two behind him. And then who knows? Coy Moore, I like how he flushes the ball, but shoot, it's kind of up in the air with how many athletic players we have at wide receiver right now.
Wow, it's so amazing to think, like, you didn't even mention Jeray Jenkins or John Kirkland, or like the veteran guys who've been hanging around. Are the freshmen really that talented that they made that much of an impact this early?
So I'm paying attention to the young guys. I know what Jeray and I know what John Trey bring to the table. And John Trey is one of the best athletes on the field too, obviously. But I'm just, I've been keying ever since you brought up watching the freshman players. I've been paying more attention to them. Jack Besh too, as another guy. So I've been trying to, key in on these guys that I haven't seen them play before. Sure. And I've seen all those other guys play. But no, all the older guys, the upperclassmen, are obviously getting most of the first team reps. And but the guys that I've been, like I said, been paying attention to have been like Brian Thomas's and the other freshmen run around the field.
So what other freshmen at any position maybe have caught your eye early?
Still, I said this last time, he's just such a presence. Mason Smith is such an easy one to use because he's so big and he's probably going to start. But he's definitely number one. So if I'm not going to say him, I obviously like Brian Thomas. That has to be my number two. He's 6'5". He's a big guy, and he can go up and get the football. He reminds me of Terrace Marshall. Marshall just taller and more length to him.
What about also, I had it on my notes to ask you about the transfers, about Mike Jones and Major Burns, because that's at position, Zach, where LSU struggled last year, and there may be counting on those guys to be immediate impact guys. What have you noticed? Let's start with Mike Jones at linebacker, and then maybe Major Burns at safety.
So I haven't gotten a lot of Mike Jones, but I have seen Major Burns. Major Burns looks like he's going to be a great fit. I think he's going to play. We're going to probably rotate with the 4-2-5. We're going to have a lot of guys playing, in the secondary. But I think Major Burns will play immediately and have an impact. Obviously, we have Elias Ricks, Derek Stingley, Jay Ward. But no, Major Burns transferred here for a reason because he knows he's going to get playing time. He's on the field. He fits in, and he's making plays, and like any DB that we need, he's flying around the field, and I see him, immediately having an impact on our team.
I want to talk a little more about safety. So Major Burns fits in. What about Jay Ward moving from corner to safety? How does that look so far?
I think Jay Ward's going to be fine there. He's an athlete, and last year he came into his own at the end of the season. We had some struggles, obviously, at the beginning, but I think he's, with that extra year, I think he's going to be great this season. He's going to definitely get more playing time. And I don't know who fits in with the starting mix, but he's definitely going to get, he's going to play in every single game. At least that's my hunch. He's going with the ones right now as well. So, but he looks good, just like Major Burns looks good. And it's hard to, it's kind of one of those too early to tell situations because we haven't put on full pads yet. But they look great out there.
So Jay Ward's going with the ones. Is he playing free or strong?
I believe he's playing free safety. Let me see. I'm on the wrong side of the field. I'm on the offensive side
okay.
with their red zone drill, but I can't really tell from.
So
I'm looking through the offensive linemen right now.
All right, what offensive linemen look good? Those big guys all look good, right?
Yeah. Shoot, they all look like they can block me. That's about all I need to know.
Are you still trying to look to the defense?
Yeah, Jay Ward's not on the field. currently. They're doing a rush drill right now.
Okay.
They're doing like a blitz drill.
One other safety I wanted to ask about is Sage Ryan, because Ed Ogeron did mention that Sage was playing both nickel and at safety. I don't know. Have you gotten a look at him? I mean, he's a 5-star to Lafayette. Everyone's really high on him about where he may fit in that secondary.
Yeah, that's another one I keyed in on the guys we talked about last time. I'm paying attention to Mason Smith, Jack Besh, and the others, but I have not this early in practice because it got pushed back. I have not seen many defensive players because I've been stuck on the offensive side of the field.
Okay,
so I don't want to go into talk and not have anything productive to talk about.
For sure, respect. So then let me ask you about a guy that you mentioned a couple times, and that's Jack Besh, because we have talked a lot, and Ed Ogeron did also about tight end with Nick Storrs having what seems like it's going to be a medical retirement. You're basically down to Cole Taylor, Jack Besh converting from wide receiver, and then a walk-on. So give me a thought here early on Jack Besh, and if it looks like he fits in at tight end as a freshman.
He definitely does. I mean, he's big enough to play in the SEC already. I mean, he's huge. But I think Cole Taylor will get the early start with the ones. But as soon as Jack knows the playbook, they're going to be rotating for sure. And the biggest key, too, because of the tight end depth is kind of lacking, they're definitely going to try and keep both of those guys healthy the entire season, with Storrs being out.
Before you run, and Zach Von Rosenberg is our guest, giving us our LSU Fall Camp report. Anything else today or through the first 4 practices that stood out to you that maybe like a casual observer might not notice, but that stood out to you being out there a few days?
I really like. I mean, he'll be the second string guy. But I really like Garrett Nussmeier. I don't know what it is. He's got the it factor to him. And Max Johnson obviously is the guy, and he's gonna be the guy because he's got a year under his belt. But I really like Garrett. He's got that look to him. He's got the SEC, the caliber ability. I don't know. His arm, his throws. He just looks like a guy that knows exactly where he wants to throw the ball. And yeah, he made mistakes in the spring game and some mistakes early on, but the way he throws the ball and his delivery, I love it.
He is Zach Von Rosenberg, former LSU punter, now our fall camp correspondent, the number 1 punter. They're back on the practice field tomorrow, man, so let's do it again tomorrow.
Cool, sounds good. I'll get some recon on the defensive players tomorrow.
I appreciate it much. Thanks, Zach.
Take it.
All right, that is Zach Von Rosenberg. Going to join us as long as LSU's out on the practice field for fall camp, giving us our fall camp report, so we appreciate him for making a couple of minutes. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. What an awesome time to get by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I tell you all the time about how they've been voted the National Aesthetic Practice of the Year in the country. And they continue to prove why over and over again, because they continue to expand all of their Rolodex of services and their menu of services. And they're the most advanced in the world, like the Pico-Way laser you've heard me talk about for laser tattoo removal. They have a Pico-Way process now for facial rejuvenation. So if you have sunspots or other blemishes, this is the foremost technology used in the world right now for those types of things. You can learn more online at theantiagingclinics.com. You can save 20% off those services this month at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. All right, appreciate Zach for joining us. Remember, if you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. Todd McClure was here in hour 1. Former Tiger great was there in Canton for Alan Faneca's enshrinement. They played together at LSU. We had Todd in hour 1. Appreciate Sean Fazan for being with us last hour, giving us a Saints camp report. And then you just heard Zach Von Rosenberg taking care of the LSU side of things. It was a massive weekend as well on Friday for former Tiger Greg Dykman. Friday, he made his big league debut. I got his first hit. That actually happened while we were on air. Played again yesterday against the White Sox. And the Cubbies have a game tonight at Wrigley against the Brewers. And Greg Dykman's going to join us for a couple of minutes to talk about that when we come back. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Stick around on a Monday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. If you need to sell your home, call the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. Call Darren James. I was talking to Darren actually this morning, and I was asking him because we've gone through this period here where it's been such an incredible buyer's market, where there's just this complete, a seller's market. It's been a complete lack of inventory. So you've seen these homes at enormous prices and just selling so quickly. Well, the market always corrects, and the market is starting to settle. And this is an amazing time right now if you're looking to buy a home. 335-7666, 335-7666, or if you're trying to sell your home, remember, call the realtor that sells more homes than anyone, with more processes in place to get your home sold faster. 335-7666 for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Middle Relief, and after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
That one in the air out towards right field, and it finds space. First major league hit for Greg Deichmann.
That's how it sounded. A moment that no doubt our next guest will remember forever. Former LSU All-American, now outfielder for the Chicago Cubs. His first career hit on Friday. Hopefully the first of maybe 3,000 or so. Greg Deichmann joins us. Greg, thanks for the time, man. How are you? It seems like a silly question, but how are you?
Oh, man, I'm amazing.
I could certainly understand. This might be the easiest interview you ever do in your life because basically this is just going to be like Uncle Greg's story time. July 27th, You're traded to the Cubs. August 6th, you get your call up and you start. So let's go back to the trade. You're traded from the A's to the Cubs. How did you learn about the trade that day? Did you know it was coming?
No, completely blindsided. I mean, the trade deadline's coming up, so you're always kind of looking and just trying to keep up with it, see what the moves are, but you never really know. So I didn't really think anything of me being traded. There's always a possibility, but I was playing in Salt Lake at the time, and it was the 8th inning. I was running out on the field, and my manager calls me back into the dugout, and he goes, "Hey, we heard you just got traded. We don't know who to. You need to go in and call the GM." And I mean, that was pretty much the gist of it. Went in, found out I was dealt to the Cubs, and then they kind of had me pack my stuff, and I flew to Des Moines, Iowa 2 days later.
It's so wild, but like that happens in baseball, where guys, you're like literally taken off a field, which is wild to think. So you fly to Des Moines. Like, you were only there for a week. Like, did you even get settled in Des Moines?
Doesn't feel like it. Yeah, I mean, I got there, and luckily we were on a 12-game homestand, so I got there 2 days into the first half of the homestand, and then I played 2 games of the second series before I got called up. So yeah, I think I played 4 or 5, 6 games somewhere in there.
Man, what a whirlwind. But I guess this is kind of maybe the catch-22 of getting traded, right? I mean, the team that you were drafted by, the A's, they send you away to Chicago. So in some ways, it's a new beginning, but it's also got to be disappointing. But the flip side of it is you went to a team that's in rebuild mode. So when you went to the Cubs, like, was there this thought in your mind, or did the Cubs organization tell you, look, there's a really good chance you're going to get a call up soon?
Well, yeah, after I caught my breath and kind of could, evaluate and see everything that was going on, talking to people and kind of seeing the way the team was, the trades that they had gone through with Rizzo and Brian and Baez, and kind of the return that they got for those guys, and then obviously me for Chafin. It definitely gives you a little more hope. It kind of seems like that door is opening up, but again, it's something that you never actually can think will actually come true until it does. Like still to this day, I know it's only 3 days later, but it still doesn't feel real. So yeah, it was a real opportunity when I got traded, especially like you said, kind of the state that the team was in. But you never think that day is going to actually come, and for it to come as soon as it did was just it left me speechless.
And Greg Deichmann becomes the 21st player under Paul Mainieri to make his major league debut. All right, let's talk about the call up. Then you're playing 5-6 games in Iowa, and then the call comes. Walk us through that.
So I was going out for the game. We were playing at 7:00, and it was probably 6:40 ish, something like that. And I'm just in my locker listening to music, and about to head out, and see our manager come walking in the locker room, and he sees me, and he kind of walks past me. So just thinking he's looking for someone, and then he walks back, and he looks at me, and he kind of says, "Come here." And so I walk with him into his office, and then he grabs our hitting coach and bench coach, and they come walking in the office. And so now it's going through my mind, is this it? Is this really happening? And he looks at them, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Deichmann's going to the big leagues."
And your reaction is what?
So just get up and hug them, and then fall back in the chair because my legs are shaking and I couldn't stand.
Have you ever had that? No. Have you ever had that feeling? Like, can you correlate that feeling to anything else you've experienced in your career?
No, honestly, because everybody remembers, Omaha and stuff and LSU, but it's not no, it's just something that you never think you're going to hear. You're always hoping for it, and it's what you're working towards, but to hear that actually come out of someone's mouth to you, and realizing that this is actually what you've been working for and dreaming of since you were 5, 6, 7 years old. When it came out of his mouth, I heard it, but it didn't make sense. You know.
It actually does make sense to hear you say it that way. It's just a surreal moment. Talking with Chicago Cubs outfielder Greg Deichmann. That has to have a really nice ring to it. Follow him on Twitter at Greg_D07. I saw a lot of the pictures from Wrigley, from your debut, where your family was there. So you show up to the ballpark on Friday. Like, give me some of first, like your first glimpse of Wrigley, your first time walking into the clubhouse. Like, what are the things that are going to stand out that the stories you'll tell to your kids and grandkids forever?
It was just wild. It was all wild. Flying in, I got on a flight at 7 a.m. Landed in Chicago at 8:30. Had a car pick me up, drove straight to the field. And then they drop you off right there on the curb and walk in and just seeing the tunnel and like just everything for the first time and walking in the locker room and just kind of, again, like it doesn't register as like that you're in the big leagues. Like, this is Wrigley Field. And then they kind of walked me around the whole facility and walked up on the steps. And, when I saw the field and stuff for the first time since high school, walking up those steps and seeing it, it's just like, even then, it's just, wow, like, this is cool. But you still feel like a fan. And then just getting out there and playing, Lance Lynn's on the mound. And then, my third at-bat is against Craig Kimbrell. And it's like, I mean, I'm really here,
Right.
Like, that's really the ivy out there on the wall. Like, that's really those guys on the mound that I'm facing. Like, that's really me hitting fifth. It's like I said, it's still surreal. It still doesn't like really feel like that.
Was there any disappointment that the first uniform you ever got to wear in a big league game was that gaudy blue alternate Wrigleyville thing, whatever that was?
I like those.
Oh, come on, man. You're talking about one of the most
You don't
iconic.
like those? I know
Look.
it's not traditional, but come on, those are good-looking uniforms.
The Cubs home pinstripes, one of the most iconic uniforms in all of sports. And your debut, you're in that thing, that alternate thing, your first ever hit, Greg, your first big league hit was in that uniform.
Hey, I got to wear the pins the next day.
Yeah, no, you did. You did. Greg Deichmann for a couple of more minutes. All right, tell me about your first hit. Second at bat, the line drive to right field.
Yep. So my first at bat, he went 4-seam away, missed, 4-seam away, painted. I just fouled one off and missed it, and then he threw a cutter in, and just kind of got on me, and I grounded out to second. And then the next at bat, he goes with the same sequence and throws that same cutter, and I got a little bit more of it and just got it out there in the outfield. It's the hardest one. You get it out of the way in the first game, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So that obviously something I'll remember forever. First hit at home in Wrigley Field, family and friends in the stands. Just like I said, getting it out of the way in the first game. Couldn't have drew it up any better.
You also got to experience your first rain delay, your first extra inning game, all in your first game. So you're checking a lot of boxes there early on in the career. Last thing, I'll let you run, man. I know y'all got a game today, and your time just so much appreciated. From here for the rest of the season, I mean, I'd say, like, what is the goal? Well, obviously the goal is for you to play really well and never go back down. What are you I don't think you can have like a long-term, maybe you can, viewpoint, but like, what is your approach each day as you show up, and maybe have you had those types of conversations with anybody with the big club about what they'd like to see, either short or long term, from you?
Not necessarily. Obviously, the goal is to stay up here for the rest of my career for a long time. Till the game kicks me out. But talking to David Ross the first day, he kept it short and sweet. He's like, only thing I ask is that you go out there and play hard. And my response was, it's no problem at all. It's the way I was raised. It's how I've played my whole career, and it's how I'm going to continue to play. So I mean, day in and day out, it's just going out and competing. That's what I love. I love competition. I love the competitiveness of any situation, whether it's a workout, whether it's a game, whether it's just anything. So that's what's gotten me to this point in my career, and hopefully that's what's going to carry me to the end of it, whenever that is. And so I go out and I just compete every pitch, every play, and That's ultimately what's brought me the success, and that's that's kind of my game plan going forward, and hopefully that keeps me up here the rest of the year and the rest of my career.
Chicago Cubs outfielder Greg Deichmann of the Cubbies at home tonight against the Brewers, a 7:05 Central first pitch. So if you want to catch the Cubbies tonight, you could do so, and you could see a former Tiger there in the outfield at Wrigley. Greg, we're pumped for you, man. I know a lot of people here. I speak for a lot of people that say that continued success. We'll be watching, man. Thanks for the time today.
Of course, Matt. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. By the way, the lineup is posted for tonight at Wrigley, and Greg Deichmann is in the starting lineup again. So he will bat fifth. And you, Taylor, you can take this, please. He will bat fifth and play right field. So Greg Deichmann is in the starting lineup tonight, and it'll be his third opportunity in the show. So he did start 2 of the 3 games since he's been up. Started that debut where he was 1 of 5 in the extra inning loss. Started yesterday on Sunday Night Baseball. Was 1 of 4 in the loss. And now Cubs will try to get their first win. I didn't have the heart to tell him that. I just hope they keep losing. I mean, I want him to do exceptionally well, but you all know I have a bet with our mutual friend Mac Chiwilli over at Traction. I just need the Cubs to face plant here in the second half. I got to make up, I think, still 10 games. Maybe, no, I think it's 10 games on the Cubs. So I need the Yankees to moon, and I need the Cubs to face plant. So I hope Deichmann hits 400 the rest of the way, but the Cubs don't win another game. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks again to Greg Deichmann for spending a couple of minutes with us here. We're brought to you by Relief Windows. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, there's more Aaron Rodgers rumors, and one of them connects him to the New Orleans Saints next year. As I'll explain, stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet Dine-In or Carry-Out. If you want to watch the aforementioned Cubs and Brewers tonight, no better place in town than at Pluckers, because every single Monday is all-you-can-eat wings at Pluckers. So, get to either location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Belly up to the bar, grab a table or a booth, eat award-winning jumbo chicken wings, drink ice-cold draft beer, and watch whatever your favorite sports team is. They've got NBA Summer League going on right now out in Las Vegas, or, of course, you can watch Greg Deichmann and the Cubs, any of your favorite Major League Baseball teams, or maybe you're just wagering on every sport anywhere in the world. They got it. Maybe you want to bet on, like, croquet or cricket in India. I'm sure they'll have that. There is sports in the world somewhere on TV. They have it at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. And you can now order online at Pluckers.com. Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. and I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdacody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installation.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Okay, so when Aaron Rodgers this offseason was feuding with Green Bay, and there were all these questions about whether or not Rodgers would end up back with the Packers, there was a litany of analysts and former players and everybody who came out and said Aaron will never take another snap with the Packers. Well, lo and behold, Aaron Rodgers is back with the Packers, and he's going to play this season in Green Bay. So take everything you hear here with a grain of salt and understand there's a long way away till this time next year or this offseason where we're trying to figure out who's playing where. Here's what we do know, is that Aaron Rodgers is going to play his final season in Green Bay this year. The way that they restructured his contract on the eve of training camp, it made it all but certain that Rodgers is going to be traded before his deal expires in 2023. Basically, trading Rodgers next year will save the Packers $19.3 million against the cap, which then they could put toward rebuilding a roster around Jordan Love, their heir apparent quarterback. And then any team that acquires Aaron Rodgers, at 38 years old, would be on the hook for his $26.4 million salary. But realistically, what's going to happen there is they sign him to a longer-term deal and structure it to where they could spread out that cap hit. So all of that to say this. Will Blackmon played 10 years in the NFL, started his career with the Packers around the same time that Rodgers did. He was mainly a punt returner. He returned kickoffs and all sort of stuff. Well, Will Blackmon, and I don't know that he's been a super close confidant of Aaron Rodgers for any length of time. This is just getting play because he played with Aaron Rodgers and knows Aaron Rodgers, and anything that anybody says about Aaron Rodgers is going to be newsworthy. Well, and if you're a Saints fan, then you're probably doing backflips over this. Blackmon told TMZ Sports, quote, "Next year, Aaron Rodgers will be a New Orleans Saint. I can see Aaron Rodgers being a New Orleans Saint next year," end quote. Okay. Very firm. He said next year, Aaron Rodgers will be a New Orleans Saint. That's a very firm opinion. That's not, there's a absolute statement. And there's a very real possibility that could happen. So it would need to be considered. Here's a couple of things that add some perspective here. Number one, Jameis Winston's on a one-year deal. So next year, the Saints are going to have to sign a quarterback somewhere. Maybe Jameis Winston starts this year, has a blow-up season, and he's the guy. Maybe he stinks, and the team, with all these personnel losses, goes 4-13, 7-game season. I got to do the math. 17-game season. Got to do the math. You go 4-13, and you're picking in the top 5 of the draft, and you draft a quarterback. Maybe. Or maybe you pursue a guy in free agency, and maybe it's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I would remind you that this is not altogether uncommon. Brett Favre left Green Bay and went to the Jets and then Minnesota. Got Minnesota to an NFC Championship game that he lost in overtime to the Saints. Peyton Manning went to the Denver Broncos and went to 2 Super Bowls and won 1. Tom Brady went to the Tampa Bay Bucks and blah, 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 blah. But you know what I mean? Like, this is not altogether uncommon for quarterbacks in their late 30s, or in this case with Brady 40s, to leave their franchise where they've been a legend and gone and finish their career somewhere else and bring them to great heights. And, of course, with respect to the cap number, you would take Aaron Rodgers at $26 million. Do you realize that the Buffalo Bills are paying Josh Allen $45 million a year? Would you pay Aaron Rodgers 26? Yeah. And if you extend him, you could get creative with the cap. Spread that money out over years. Create fake years on the end of the deal like the Saints do all the time. Just keep kicking that can down the road. So, of course, you can make it work. And then we also know, like, you could say, well, why would you want to tie your ship to Aaron Rodgers for a few seasons? The other thing that I think we've learned about Sean Payton over the years, and Mike Detillier said this for so many years on this show, is that Sean Payton is a Bill Parcells disciple, and Parcells was not an NFL lifer. He was a guy that wasn't going to coach. He wasn't going to, coach all the way until his 70s. It wasn't going to be a guy that hung around the game that long. He was going to want to move to a front office job. And Payton may very well be the same way, that he's not going to be a coaching lifer. So if you have an opportunity to get a transcendent player like Aaron Rodgers and maybe win a Super Bowl, you do it in the same way that Denver did it with Peyton Manning, or that Tampa just recently did it with Tom Brady. You take that shot. So there's a lot of reasons why I think you would take a shot on Aaron Rodgers for a season or two. And let me remind you also, if you're Aaron Rodgers and you have options, you would be playing minimum 9 games in a dome, because of the 8 in the Superdome, and then actually next year they'd have 9 home games, and then the one you'd play in Atlanta, so 9 or 10 games minimum in a dome, as opposed to playing in Lambeau in a freezing outdoor venue. So there's a lot of, you have an offensive-minded head coach who's great with quarterbacks. There's a lot of reasons why it would make sense for Aaron Rodgers to end up in New Orleans. But that's a long way away. And I'll remind you that we even played the audio of the litany of former players and analysts who said that Aaron Rodgers had taken his last snap with Green Bay, and they were all wrong. So, yes, this is just Will Blackman. It's one man's opinion. He said it definitively, but there is merit to why it could very well happen. And we'll obviously be paying very keen interest. My hope as to what happens is that Jameis Winston's the starting quarterback this year and blows up, throws for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and leads the Saints to the postseason, and the Saints feel like they have a guy that can be their guy for the next 10 years. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. That would be my hope as to what happens. But Aaron Rodgers isn't a bad consolation prize either. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Get to the website, ton of info there at the website, Michelli.com. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, and rent the products you use to weigh and measure. The thing that I would highly recommend, you can certainly look at all the industries that they service, but if you go to the services tab, you'll see right there, tap calibration, you'll see all of the different items that they calibrate there at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. You can request a quote. Of course, you can ship your equipment to Michelli if there isn't a calibration lab near you. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. If you need ISO 17025 accreditation, they offer that as well. And remember, if it's mass or torque or scale, force, dimensional, temperature, electronic pressure gauges, they do it all at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. You can find the location nearest you with offices and locations all over the United States. Born in New Orleans, their office is in Harahan, where they've been since 1947. but they've grown to be our nation's largest distributor of scales. Absolutely incredible. Check them out at Michelli.com. 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 All right, y'all, it's after further review. It's been a busy Monday show. We appreciate you for hanging out with us here. Remember, if you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. We'll knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back. We'll do Otter Locks and also what we learned here on what has been a busy Monday. Stick around. We'll wrap it up next on AFR.
AFR.
So this morning, I walked outside, and the crew from Pinnacle Exterior Construction was outside at my house, and they were mapping out with chalk where the encasement's going to be for our refrigerator and where the grill is going to go and the bar top and the tabletop. I've been telling you for weeks, Pinnacle Exterior Construction is doing our outdoor kitchen. We're thrilled with the level of service, the attention to detail, the quality of work that they've done. It's Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Yes, they do outdoor kitchens, but they also do pools. If you want your custom pool, Pinnacle Exterior Construction can make that happen. And you might be thinking, Matt, it sounds great, but I just don't think I can afford that. Yes, you can. Pinnacle Exterior Construction can make that happen. Financing is available. And remember, because they have these employees in-house, their own pool crews, they can control the cost and the pricing as well. Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Learn more online, pecbuilt.com.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Introducing Vizzy Lemonade, the only lemonade hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. All new Vizzy Lemonade. Step up your seltzer game.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è. Oh, oh, oh.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. Windows door siding, reliefwindows.com. We have one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
So we turn to the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the one, the only, the Ottfather, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you, man?
I am doing great. How about you, Matthew?
Man, if I was any better, they'd have to make two of me. Isn't that how the old saying goes?
I think so. One is enough, please.
Otter, you know you love me. All right.
Yes, I do.
How was your weekend, Otter?
It was great, man. Celebrate EJ's 16th birthday. The big sombrero on his head over at Superior Grill.
Got him a few margaritas too for his 16th?
No, Matt. No.
Like father, like son. Yeah.
No.
Okay,
So,
not
anyway,
just that'd be 17.
they just he's growing up, man, getting ready for his start of sophomore year last Friday. So it was the first day of school. So
goes
I
fast, man. Wow.
I drove by the St. George carpool in the morning.
Yep.
Woo, bro. Wow. That's a lot of cars there.
That's a lot of cars. To all the people listening or watching outside of Baton Rouge, that's an elementary school that has grown substantially. You know, Jimmy, like my 8th grade year, the only game we actually had a legitimate chance of winning was beating St. George because they had like 13 kids on the team. Maybe they had 12.
Not anymore, huh?
Maybe they had 12 and we had 13. Something I'm talking football too, by the way. Yeah, it was terrible.
Not anymore. Not anymore. So
all right.
Anyway,
what we got tonight, man? Yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of the haves and the have-nots. This is not totally unusual after the trade deadline. The stronger teams add stronger pieces from weaker teams. So the strong get stronger, the weak get weaker, and you'll see some really ridiculous lopsided lines. 55-18 Thursday through Sunday. The favorites are. So I mean that's better than 3-1. You can lay 3-1 on the average, and you're still profiting. Over the weekend I went to Tampa Bay. I had Baltimore on Friday against Tampa Bay. Had another lead. They blew it. I said enough's enough.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay minus the 1.5 the last 2 days. Matt, they had grand slams both days. They 6 runs in the 8th inning yesterday. The bullpen for the Orioles has been unbelievably bad. And they wouldn't even just pitch to Nelson Cruz. It's probably Nelson Cruz for Tampa Bay is making the biggest impact out of any team that's added a piece. I mean, they're just flat out scared to pitch to him because he's mashed the ball right now. It's a horrible schedule tonight, by the way, in Major League Baseball. We have 5 games. 1 has already started, and 4 of them are, the White Sox with Giolito is 2-10 against the Twins. The Brewers are 2-10 against the Cubs. The White Sox smashed the Cubs in all 3.
I know, it was so good.
Over the weekend. Yankees are 175 over the Royals. They'll be without Rizzo, but still, they had a good series, very competitive series over the weekend against Seattle. And San Diego is 256 over the Marlins at Petco. The Marlins got beat by like 100-2 over the weekend in Colorado. I know Colorado is better at home, but my goodness. But I'm going to try and go with one dog tonight.
Okay.
And Carlos Hernandez from the Royals has been pitching better. His last 2 starts are very, very good. Big guy's got good stuff, and is he kind of showing some signs? We talked about Luis Castillo with the Reds, and he's pitching today in Cleveland, where he started out so bad. And then we caught him the first couple of starts, and he got back to where he's born. He closed with $1.85 on the road today. We're trying to get a buy low spot with Carlos Hernandez on the first couple of signs that he might be pretty good, pretty high draft pick, or pretty highly thought of by the Royals organization. But plus 60 at home against the Yankees without Rizzo, we think it's worth a swing.
All
And
right.
it is slim pickings tonight in MLB.
Greg Dykman was on the show earlier. He's in the starting lineup tonight for the Cubbies, so that's something for you to watch with your beloved Cubs as they get smoked again.
I remember I had the Cubs on during the win total 79.5. Remember, because I thought they'd sell a piece or two. I didn't know they'd sell the farm. So that thing was going to be very close until the trade deadline. That's an easy winner of the rest of the way. We just knew their financial situation entering the season. They were going to have to be playing way above expectations for them to not sell off a piece or two. But I didn't know the big three, would all roll with them. With Rizzo,
Jimmy,
Bryant.
I totally, absolutely, completely, absolutely remember your win total projection from 5 months ago. I mean, I had it stored right in the forefront of my mind. No, I believe you. I 100%. I know you know where your money is. I'm not doubting that at all. But there's just no way that I was going to remember that. 5 months ago. Jimmy, I don't know what I talked about 5 minutes ago, man.
You know what? I remember. I need a few days off. Hanny's going to do the show the rest of the week.
You were just in San Diego. What do you mean you need a few days?
Look, Roscoe's here tonight. We're putting a ticker on him. 4.5. Over 4.5 positive things come out of his mouth the next 2 hours. Okay? That's all we're looking for. I mean, everything in the world sucks. Trust me. Okay?
Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us with Jimmy and Roscoe, who thinks the world sucks. So tune in. Game Time with Jimmy Ott. If you're not in Baton Rouge.
lot of memories with Bobby Bowden. Listen, I grew up going to that 5 for none series in Tiger Stadium. 5 for none.
5 for none.
Central Florida's complain about having to go to Gainesville twice, and they go to Orlando once. Please, Bobby Bowden got outplayed to people.
Otter, have a great show, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Down the stretch we come here. We appreciate Relief Windows, Brandon Holly and the gang. Awesome people. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Title sponsor for Monday's shows. Muso, what did you learn today?
Greg Deitman likes those awful Wrigleyville uniforms.
How sad was that?
That's so disappointing.
Taylor, did you have what we learned?
Learn Aaron Rodgers, there's a chance he might be a Saint next year.
Let's hope so.
Did you learn, Matt?
Todd McClure, first time he ever went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame this weekend to see his former teammate Alan Faneca enshrined. Y'all have a great night. See you.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. That's GMFS Mortgage. And man, I'm so pumped. I was kind of looking at social media earlier today, and I noticed GMFS was giving some shout-outs to some of their team. So the Scotsman Guide top originators have released, for the last 12 years, they ranked thousands of the top producing residential mortgage originators, and a handful of GMFS mortgage brokers were on there. Shout out to Stephanie Machado, number 156 in the country. Doug Bickley, number 631 in the country. Ryan LaRussa, Amy Doucette, I hope I pronounced her name right. Anyway, you're working with not only the best in the state, some of the best in the country at GMFS Mortgage. GMFSmortgage.com. Change your life today. Refinance that mortgage. Save money on your monthly mortgage payment with GMFSmortgage.com.
There it is, the extra mile on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected.